lightning, girl. All right. Hoe, how you think he won't fuck your best friend and your sister? Lie to ya, then screw ya, get mad if his homeboy sue ya. He's a nigga, don't let him fool ya. They all dogs, that's what they do. Say you put a stop to the shit they do and get your own shit, that's what you do. And don't worry about him or his juice, man. You make him sweat up on your shit, and you ride by music high as hell too. He's watching you, lusting with his bitch you. Nod at him, keep riding. You see him later, cause they wanna stop by. When he sees you off the chain looking good too, you even got his bitch wanna freak you. Don't trust no nigga, no. You can't trust no nigga, no. Don't trust no nigga, no. You can't trust no mother, no. Don't trust no nigga, no. You can't trust no nigga, no. Don't trust no nigga, no. You can't trust no mother, no. Now when he comes, open up, let him freak you. Do all the things, freaky things this bitch can't do. From the back to the side, just ride in. Tighten up, rip it down, shit's wild then. Get him up, put him out, nigga, get gone. She's the one cussing, blowing up your cell phone. I'm over you, yeah, you had to learn the hard way. I give a fuck about what you might have to say. Cause you see, I'm a queen in the end, though. You see where you're gonna be in the end, bro. Knowing nothing with nothing stuck in the hood. While I'm straight, looking lucky, living real good. So trust a nigga, fuck a nigga, get your own shit. To let him know that he's fucking with a raw bitch. Put a head on the shoulder, knows how it goes. And when it's time to let a motherfucker get gone. Don't trust no nigga, no. You can't trust no nigga, no. Don't trust no nigga, no. You can't trust no nigga, no. Don't trust no nigga, no. You can't trust no nigga, no. Don't trust no nigga, no. You can't trust no nigga, no. Trust in a nigga, dumb bitch. That forecast nigga ain't shit. You put your trust in a nigga, dumb bitch. That forecast nigga ain't shit. You put your trust in a nigga, dumb bitch. That forecast nigga ain't shit. You put your trust in a nigga, dumb bitch. That forecast nigga ain't shit. Oh, you forgave him all, them silly hoe. That nigga don't mean you no good. Oh, you forgave him all, them silly hoe.
That nigga don't mean you no good. Oh, you forgave him, ho? You silly ho. That nigga don't mean you no good. Oh, you forgave him, ho? You silly ho. That nigga don't. No.
Can't trust no nigga, no. Don't trust no nigga, no. You can't trust no nigga, no. Don't trust no nigga, no. You can't trust no nigga, no. Don't trust no nigga, no. You can't trust no nigga, no.
What's going on, Conscious Crew? What is going on, my ninjas? Happy Saturday. Y'all already know what we're here to get into, girl. We're here to get into the... All right, you all see what we're here to talk about. I may be dropping the link so you guys can sound off because, baby, everybody got a lot to say. And you can say it right here on the CTV platform. before we even get into this discussion, I need you guys to go ahead and thumbs up this video, because thumbing up not only helps with YouTube's algorithm, but more importantly, it triggers up YouTube's notification system. So when you are thumbing up, which don't cost you nothing, it's on the free 99, you are literally knocking on the digital door of another Conscious crew member and telling them to get their arses into the sanctuary. All right. Also, shout out to all the new subbies, baby. We are at 47.2K. Shout out to all of the influencers and content creators who credited me for my work and are still crediting me for my work. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much. Also, all new subbies, make sure that your notification bell is set to all, so that you never miss a day or the hour when the king is in fact kinging. And last but not least, please share the stream out to wherever it is you have digital community, whether that be your Instagram, your Snapchat, your YouTube community wall, your Facebook, your MySpace, or the dark side of Twitter, Tumblr, or your personal OF. I don't really give a damn where you lay the link. Honey, tag anybody you feel whom this commentary is relevant to. Funky, Michelle, oh yeah, whoever, girl. Okay, but no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, what's going on, you guys? Happy Saturday, you guys. Please, once again, make sure that you guys are thumbing up the video. Let me speak to a few of y'all in here. It's a lot of y'all in here, so I ain't gonna be able to speak to everybody, but let me just see what I can see up in her. What's going on, Yvette? What's going on, Trey? What's going on, Sherry? Hey, Gracie. What's going on, Finn? Valerie says, girl, Wiggins need to come over here and give me nasty. Thank you, honey. Okay, need to slide up in them DMs and give me thank you, bitch. All right. I'm gonna tell you why that'll never happen. Okay, because Wiggins, for one, is really convinced, girl, that I want her to bust hell wide open. And I only want that to happen sometimes, you know, only sometimes, okay? But generally speaking, no, okay? Secondly, he would never do that because, you know, that requires a little bit too much maturity. You know, the same thing that Funky would say. Thirdly, the problem with Wiggins is that Wiggins wants a clean across the board yes man. And unfortunately, those are the only people that, you know, he would have any type of value over, is those who are willing to kiss his ass. And I just can't do that. You know, I just can't kiss nobody's ass. I got to be able to tug on everybody's wig. I got to be able to let the pendulum swing from left to right. I got to be able to hold everybody accountable. I got to be able to do that. So, you know, I'm not able to, you know, be a clean across the board ass kisser and a clean across the board yes man. You know, I gotta be able to, because here's the reality of being grown. We all grown, and we all know that the truth about life is that life is both left and it's right, meaning that everything is situational and everything changes from day to day. That means that today you can be the victim of some shit, and tomorrow you can be the villain, and then the next day you can be the victim. And then the day after that, you can be the goddamn villain. And then over the weekend, you can be the victim all over again. You know, so because things change and because people show up differently and they make different decisions than the ones they did last week or last month, the person you was just supporting and saying, yeah, this person was wrong, might be the same bitch you got a month from now and be like, yo, my nigga, you out of water, you know? And because I'm not a stan account, because I don't stan, I don't idolize, I don't stan, and I'm not delusional enough to be nobody's yes man. Unfortunately, for those who are looking for that, they won't be able to find that in me. And because I'm not willing to be a yes man all day, every day, 48 hours out of the day, people are going to say I'm a hater. People are going to think I don't like them. People are going to think that my feelings are permanent. No, it's just that I'm going to keep my foot on your neck when it needs to be on your neck. And I can definitely champion for you when you need to be championed for. And obviously, I proved that, over the past few weeks. So at this point, I don't even need any type of validation. I don't do this for no validation. I do this just because I'm a commentator. I'm in my own lane. I'm in the news cycle, newsing with these folk and giving my perspective, just like all of you beautiful people are giving y'all's perspective about things. And that's it. I don't even need nobody in my DMs. I don't need nobody to take me out to lunch. I don't need nobody to take me to brunch. I don't need nobody to shout me out on their channel. I don't need none of that. I'm good on it because I ain't even doing it for none of that. If I got your back in the situation, it's because it's genuine. If I don't got your back in the situation, it's because it's genuine. So, that'll be that. What's going on? Legally Shay, hey boo, who says at first, it was weird listening to you when I support Armon, but you're reasonable and you have your own experiences, and I respect it, and that's why I support you. Thank you so much, baby. And that's what I'm talking about. Because sometimes even here, sometimes we ain't gonna agree, and we might not agree for various reasons. We might be on different sides of the argument based upon things that I know that maybe everybody else don't know yet, things that haven't happened yet, things that ain't surfaced yet. Because once again, I'm plugged in with all these people and I'm adjacent to all these people, even the ops, even the people that I don't like and the people who don't like me. We all still have mutual friends and we all run in mutual circles. So it's a very, very tight space. So, and because I'm a trusted person, I'm always entrusted. So, even here, we ain't gonna always agree, But the thing I love about the Conscious Crew is that we have really fostered a space where I can have my opinion respectfully. You can have yours respectfully. And as long as we are respectfully disagreeing, long as we are respectfully oppositional to each other, everybody's able to have their own thought. Okay. Now, when shit get gully, okay, when people think that disagreeing means that you got to go to war and you got to try to come for the throne himself, then the Father, Son, and the Holy Daughter, I got to banish you to hell, baby. Okay. But over here, we have been doing really good at just having a fair space and everybody being able to sound off without people being blocked and without people being, suspended in the chat and all this goofy shit. I really want an open forum platform. I want a space where everybody can have a freer mind. Everybody can do them. Everybody can be free to think whatever they want to think. We don't gotta agree and we don't have to, side with each other. But nonetheless, everybody got the space. Everybody got the autonomy to have their own damn mind. And while I'm here speaking on having your own mind, I might as well open up the show before I do so, before I go any further today. Speaking about having your own mind, some things were brought to my attention over the past 24 hours. I can't say that I'm really surprised, but I am disappointed, to say the least. Particularly because there are people who can't simply do what I just said. Just have their own opinion without having to necessarily disrespect you just because they stand differently. I'm in a very great space mentally. I'm in a great space in my energy. You guys can probably tell that just based upon the way I work and just what I got going on these days. I'm just in a really great place. So I'm really not going to allow nobody to bring me down to that level. My motto, y'all already know, is I observe and I adjust. I observe and I adjust. I adjust because I observe. So I ain't sending out no memos. I ain't having no conversations. I ain't going in for no clarity. Because as far as I'm concerned, what's understood really don't need no understanding. And I'm just going to let that be that, But I think it's a shame that people allowed their hatred and allowed their feelings for somebody else to put them in a position to spray people that they cool with and to be shady toward people that they cool with and to make some pretty inflammatory statements about people that they cool with's character, implying that people can be brought and that people do things for opportunity. Everybody on this motherfucker, let me say this, and Holy Spirit, please keep me straight, because you know that I'm a Scorpio, baby, and I will burn the fucking block down. Okay, so Holy Spirit, please help me with this. Let me say this. Me personally, and I can only speak for me, I can't speak for nobody else on these streets. I would never have to do anything based upon no perceivable opportunity, and I would never have to do anything based upon their motherfucking amount of money, because I have my own coin and have my own money. See, I have my money in such a way compared to the rest of these girls on these streets that I don't even have a monetized platform because I don't need it the way they need it. Catch it. I don't even need to turn on the monetization. These people have to be monetized daily in order to pay their bills. So just right off the bat, there's a big difference between me and the rest of these girls. Okay? They have to do everything for a coin. They can be brought and sold. They have to depend on this. They're the ones who can be compromised. I don't have to do a motherfucking thing because I'm independent outside of Miss YouTube. I can do it without YouTube. I have hair that is some of these girls' mortgages. And that's just the hair alone. Okay, so I thought some of the shade was very interesting to me about people doing things because of, you know, perceivable opportunities and because they be paid out, etc. And I'm just like, I know people who ain't got their super chat and their monetization turned on every day, all day, ain't got the audacity to talk about what somebody else need to do for motherfucking money. And then I was just kind of floored that people were so bent out of control and people were so invested in how they feel about a story about somebody they don't know, that all content creators are giving their opinions about, was so invested in hating this person that they would openly, subliminally throw shots at somebody else who has never done a damn thing to them, but been a friend and been light, love, and all things fluff. Now, everybody get on this motherfucker all the time talking about, I don't give a fuck. If everybody don't give a fuck, why all these people who don't give a fuck be up here continuously reporting on the situation? Why all these folk who don't give a fuck are then so bent out of shape about everybody else's perspective and feeling on the matter? Why all these folk who don't give a damn, they don't care, up in the wee hours hooting and hollering, entering into a damn massive heart attack? But I guess people meant what they said. There's hatred there. But baby, if your hatred is causing you to scribble outside the lines and to also go at other people who you respect and to spray your peers, all because they won't push a narrative in the light of facts, you out of order, and you lose your credibility. As much as I don't personally care for Wiggins because of things he and I have been through and things he's done to me, in the light of the facts, I also do have to champion behind him regardless of anything else I can say about him, regardless of whatever personal history or regardless of what I have extracted about who I think he is based upon my own anecdotal experience and based upon situations that I've seen him in. There should be nobody that all of us are so damn invested in. And definitely when we don't even know these people personally, that it requires all of that heat from us, that we become undamn hinged. Baby, that's when you've gone a little bit too far. And that's when you need a bit more naps to take. So I don't know why other people had to catch strays last night just because of people standing behind the facts and people being able to compartmentalize their feelings about Claudia and say, yeah, Claudia may have said some things in the past. She's recovered. She's apologized a trillion times. She's a whole different person. And she is also Black. Hello. It's not like you're talking about an actual white person here. She is also Black. And Claudia is not willing to sit around and allow anybody to pigeonhole her to unbecoming jokes and comments she made over a decade ago when the culture was unconsciously anti-Black as hell. Lots of people were making comments that they had no idea were in fact as anti-Black as they were. That's why so many people got canceled in cancel culture, because damn near half the culture participated unbeknownst to them in anti-Black rhetoric and jokes in the name of a kiki and a ha-ha. You can put on any VHS tape of any comedian, Black ass comedian who existed prior to the social media age and see comedians talking about dark-skinned people, comparing them to Midnight and Charcoal and all this shit and all that shit. And there was no pushback because ultimately it was the culture. People really had no fucking idea. But either way it goes, like, I really don't give a fuck. The reality is a lot of things can be true all at the same time. You can not like Claudia. You can think she's a colorist if that's what you want to do. You can do all those things and also say, absolutely, I understand where she was coming from and she was being hoodwinked and bamboozled and Al Reynolds was on his bullshit. You don't necessarily have to give up your other narrative just in order to be able to nod your head to the facts. So I don't know why people always think that it's a one over the other. Hold on, y'all. So I don't know why everybody always think that it's a one over the situation. You cannot like a motherfucker and still be like, that person was done dead ass wrong. You can hold on to both those realities. Both those realities. Just like you can refer to somebody's receipts on their channel who you don't like and still credit them for their work. And still not like their ass. But do the right thing in the situation and credit them for their work. People act like because people get to be right sometime and people get to be a victim sometime, that in order to acknowledge that means that all of a sudden you got to crown them as perfect and you got to crown them as faultless and you got to crown them as blameless. No, you don't. You get to just speak to the specific situation and say, this person was done the fuck wrong, period. Whether I like them or not, whether they're a colorist or not, whether they are an egomaniac or not. I'm doing it. Everybody knows that it's very clear that I don't like Wiggins and yet can still champion for him, because two things can be true at the same time. And me not liking him for the reasons I don't like him don't have anything to do with me being able to be objective in a situation. He can be a victim here. He can be a villain there. That's just life. So just to be clear, a bitch ain't never got to be paid to do nothing. For one, okay? I don't need this like these girls need it, which is why they're getting paid to do it. And secondly, I'm not trying to make it in Hollywood, unlike the rest of these girls. If I wanted to be bigger than what I am, I could. I have access to producers and directors. I get offered shit every fucking day. I can go and audition for whatever I want to audition for because I'm a talented girl. I'm not interested in being in the same industry that is raping niggas, that is sexually exploiting niggas, that is working all type of Illuminati ass rituals and witchcraft on motherfucking niggas. Why the fuck would I ever be thirsty enough to be in an industry that's being exposed right now? When have I ever been that content creator to begin with who has been out here trying to get up in Hollywood? Y'all have never even known me to do that. Y'all have never even known me to be fixated on that. Y'all have never even known me to go and try to be a part of any of that shit. Even when it came to TGIF, I got the call. The call didn't get me. The opportunity pulled up on me. I didn't pull up on it. Okay, and just because you don't say somebody's name don't mean you're not talking about them, because when you are describing the suspect and the perpetrator at hand, you don't got to call them by name. You just describe their name. Now, I said what the fuck I said, and if anybody who feel any type of way about it can surely hit the link about it, because I'm right here to be spoken to. So here is the link for anybody who feel like this message is for them, who want to see me about the message. I just dropped the link. For anybody who want to hit the square and address me about what I just said. Before we move any further into this commentary. Anybody who feel away and anybody who got the kahunas who want to have a conversation can hit the link and address me directly. I give you another 60 seconds before we proceed to complete what we came here to do. For anybody who feels I just tugged on a wig, I just tugged on a bundles, for anybody who just feel like I just tugged on their ass, you can hit the link. Because we know that y'all motherfuckers are always hoverboarding. All of y'all are fans. All of y'all are subscribed. And nobody has the excuse of saying they didn't see this because you saw everything else. You see every other upload. And you all gave commentary on the receipts last night. So we know y'all some looking ass niggas. So come over here and look and click and come and confront me if anything that I just said is incongruent. I'll wait. I will. I'm here. We can get clear. We can get active. Because I'm on whatever time anybody else is on. Whatever your clock read is what mine's read too, boo. We in the same time zone. What you on? Because I'm on everything that y'all on except Coke, girl. If y'all on Coke, I ain't on Coke, boo. But anything else y'all on, I'm on, baby. I sit my ass over here and I treat the friends that I have with the utmost of fucking respect. Anybody that I call a friend on this platform, I have went to bat for. I have protected. I have allowed my reputation to come under fire for covering motherfuckers. So on what day, for whatever reason, is it that I need to be sprayed subliminally? Why is it that anybody who would have access to me personally and intimately would even need to be subliminal when they have my digits and call me about everything else? But couldn't call me about the pen in your heart, and the telephone pole in your eye. What did I do to you to deserve any of this and any of that? Because let's be clear, there wasn't nothing but one person that Claudia Jordan got up on this bitch and gave an opportunity to. one bitch, and that was the bitch, the Consciouztv bitch. So there's only one bitch that could have been referred to. There's only one bitch that was being described last night. And it was the only bitch who Claudia fully and publicly endorsed and extended the TGIF seat to. And that was me. It wasn't a House of Aaron. It wasn't Bondi Blue. It wasn't none of these other people. It was him, CTV. The only bitch who ain't never got to go to Hollywood because Hollywood comes to him. The only bitch who don't even have to go to an audition line because the audition line comes to him. The only bitch who don't got to go find coin, the coin pulls up to him. Now, since people don't got the balls and the heart to take ownership of the shady shit they said and the shady shit they did, then I don't want to hear a motherfucking thing about it. When a motherfucker have a heart to put an address on it, then I'll step back in the ring again. Now, let's get into what we're here to talk about today. Because I didn't know that Al Jones was going to be so shook at the girl that she canceled her whole show yesterday, girl. Al Jones, girl, over on Miss YouTuberations had done canceled her entire shit yesterday. See you on Monday for another explosive show. No show today though. Okay. So I got in the comment section and I'm like, what's going on? And a user by the name of Jazz in Motion said, Al, you need to address the elephant in the room. And Al said, okay. And then nothing else. Now, you guys know Al had also claimed plenty of times throughout this whole process, girl, that he was going to get into this and get into that following Funky's departure and all this and all of that. He didn't do any of that shit. Okay? None of that, honey. We already know why Al is not going to talk. His lapdog is doing a piss poor job of windmilling on his behalf because his lapdog, Sean, doesn't swing within the receipts. He don't swing with the utility check. He doesn't swing, when he got a first and a 15th, check stuff to prove what he's talking about. It's all conjecture. It's all yabba dabbity motherfucking do. Okay? And I meant what I said on yesterday, which is why I stood on business this morning, that every time that Sean comes around that corner, bitch, with a receiptless allegation. Now, if he got receipts, that's one thing. But every time he come around that mountain with a receiptless allegation, I'm going to drop another asteroid on top of Al Reynolds' head, baby. And I'm going to let Al suffer for what Sean is getting out here doing on his behalf. Sean is mighty quiet these days. He been mighty quiet since that interview over on HE2 channel. But I'm not going to go at Sean because Sean is a irrelevant, illiterate, no GED having ass baldy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to extract blood from your homeboy. Since you stupid enough to let him put you up to getting out here trying to get ahead of shit, spreading misinformation and no receipts. And then people got the audacity to talk about, oh my God, why won't, oh my God, why won't Claudia drop the receipts? Girl, Claudia has been far more vocal through this whole process than Al Reynolds ever has been. Should have been all over on the messy sweet spot. Should have been all over here doing interviews. She been all on YouTube clearing up her motherfucking name, which she got the right to do. She been all on her Instagram, all on her personal YouTube page, speaking to the bullshit of it all. And it's not like it mattered, right? Because even when she spoke for herself, hoes was still willing to put her ass up on the cross. So what did it matter? What did it matter? Even right now, with receipts upon receipts, there's still people delusional enough. There's still looking ass niggas with no looking ass eyes who are still denouncing the black and white, even though it's essentially came down from the father himself, girl. Even though the stone tablets, girl, have come down and landed on the White House lawn for themselves. So it's not like it really mattered that Claudia been speaking for herself. But you know who also speaks on behalf of folk? The Justice Department. Because whether you speak or not, bitch, if you have the facts, you ain't got to do no talking. See, when you got the black and white, you don't got to do no yabba dabba doing. You don't even got to take the stand, baby. The facts can stand in its place. That's the whole point of being a receipt having ass motherfucker. So what she need to get out here and speak for herself for when the black and white speaks for it, honey? Just disseminate it if that's what you're going to do. It's also the assumptions for me because, you know, people don't really think their little Area 51 ass propeller hat theories through. Because who said Claudia even sent it out herself? Claudia could have gave it to her trusted confidant, and her trusted confidant could have gave it to somebody who they trusted, and that person who they trusted could have gave it to another person, and it ended up here, there, and everywhere else. Everybody got somebody who they confide in. Everybody got somebody who they trust in. But regardless, the facts are facting. And to deflect from that is literally to let this thing be personal. To not be able to acknowledge the black and white, the A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3 of this shit is to be literally because you are narrative driven. You're not really here to get to the bottom of the shit. You're not really here to focus on the objectives first. You're having an emotional experience. All these people who don't like Claudia are having an emotional experience. So much of an emotional experience. And a lot of people also have an emotional experience of Wiggins to the point that it blinds them to being able to be righteous in situations where they get to be the judge. Because after all, this is the court of public opinion, Al Jones. So I really don't even know why his cricket mouth ass even canceled his show, girl. You were the show yesterday. And it's so interesting to me that your misogynistic, lopsided face ass have all the smoke for Joyce, who, yes, is your flying monkey and is your damn mammy, but you had a lot of balls for these women like Dr. Heavenly, who you tried to give that work to, another black woman, Al, or Carolina SUV, as I like to call her. Do y'all remember when Al chewed that poor woman out? Chewed her out because Carolina SUV, who was a part of the rotating seat the first week, who filled in following Funky Dineva's departure, had the nerve to say that a physical RAPE is worse than a virtual one. And Mr. Reynolds went to trying to make an equivalent between a RAPE that happens in the metaverse, that happens because a motherfucker have on a virtual helmet, to a physical, biological RAPE. How much of an insult is that to women who have actually been essayed? To have their essay compared to you getting raped on PS5, your avatar getting raped in a virtual simulation. And Carolina SUV is an actual rape victim. And now we can see him hooting and hollering to Joyce. You got all this smoke and you got all this fucking heat and all this testicular strength for black women, and you can't even hold your motherfucking own, bitch. Now that you're being caught to the forefront. So yeah, it probably is in your best interest on one hand to take the advice of all the people telling you, don't speak, don't speak, don't speak out. Yeah, bitch, because you've already been criminally fucking indicted. You probably bet not fucking speak because the facts have really spoken for you, girl. There is nothing for you to say. But the fact that you couldn't even sit yourself before the court of fucking public opinion and you decided to forfeit the opportunity to deal with the facts of your life, just like you was running up off them Zoom meetings when Wiggins was trying to get off in your ass. Oh, and it was time to go. Just like you was berating Joyce in that recent second leaked Zoom call that I posted, if you guys haven't heard it for yourself. Who, you're not letting me go. Don't let me go. You not letting me go. So because you're not letting me go, this is what you're going to get. Every time it's time for Al Jones to be confronted, he either runs or he pulls a reverse Uno and deflects from the conversation. So let's look at the video, the second leak zone that I posted. Shout out to the new subbies, 47.3 and counting on period. For those of you who missed it, check this out when you get finished here, because we specialize in facts and we have our feelings too. And we're mature enough over here to be able to rightfully divide the word and separate the wheat from the tail. But let's revisit this. Okay, I just posted this morning for those of you who may not, who may have missed it, child. Okay, we are discussing Owl Jones. Titled Second Leak Zoom Call of Owl Reynolds scolding Foxo EP Joyce, banging on the table, and yelling with no remorse. The caption within the video reads, because I want to give you guys context to what you are watching. Owl Reynolds berating the executive producer Joyce, whom he claims to be close with allegedly because he had to stay behind after work to have concerns addressed about his behavior. He flips the combo and makes it about Joyce instead of about him. This type of narcissistic abuse from Al allegedly was continual and played a role into why Joyce would protect and whimper down from Mr. Reynolds instead of doing her job and giving him his walking papers for bringing discord to the show. The next caption reads, "This is a mild scolding compared to other unreleased Zoom meetings where Al is seen screaming to the top of his lungs at Joyce and at Claudia, I should add, anytime he was being called out. Eventually, Joyce would just learn to let Al be, which only made matters worse as she was executive producer and put in place to regulate and even terminate an employee if need be. But because of her non-confrontational nature, Al took advantage of that, making Joyce whimper and cower down. This incompetence from Joyce and abuse from Al led her to allowing him to lie on Wiggins and Claudia to higher ups without any penalty and without her input into what she knew to be true. She ultimately failed them all as a result." And here is that meeting.
Somebody called on me. I'm not raising my voice at you. Well, I am, because I'm upset. I'm tired of my EP not respecting how I feel. I'm tired of my EP talking shit about me. I'm tired of EP acting like one thing in front of one group and one thing in front of another. Okay, I'm right to be upset. I asked you to please let me go. You will not let me go, so this is what you get. Okay? And I'm glad it's being recorded because I need for people to see what I'm dealing with on a regular basis with you.
Right. Well, it's not on a regular basis, and it's
for somebody who is glad it was being recorded, you damn sure didn't appreciate those recordings being published when you decided not to come online yesterday and to see people on next Monday. Al Jones cannot stand the rain. But did you hear the particular narrative? And this is an insight into the brain, into the mind of a person with a narcissistic complex. He's on a job being held accountable. It was a poor attempt at accountability by Joyce, who legally has the authority and right to deal with any hiccups and any inconsistencies and any discretions on the job. So they have a team meeting after a show. And because he don't want to be bothered, and because he is just ready to haul ass because this is Mr. No Accountability, he tells her that you're going to sit here and you're going to deal with this lashing, and you're going to deal with my fucking attitude, and you're going to deal with all of my toxic femininity, and I'm going to sit here and beat down on this motherfucking makeshift Temu desk because you have the audacity to have me here legally. Because you have the audacity to actually attempt to bring to my attention things that are deplorable about my behavior that's causing disruption to the show. I don't want to hear that shit, Joyce. So because I don't want to hear it, and I don't feel I should have to answer to anybody for my behavior, I'm going to sit here and be a difficult little twat and give you a hard ass time and wangle your synthetic wig around, Miss Dora the Explorer. Because I'm a bitch made nigga. This man literally justified acting like a fucking buffoon toward this 70-year-old ass woman who was just doing her job by attempting to give him constructive criticism and to bring to his attention the things that he's doing to contribute to the fuckery and the foolery that's going on in front of the camera and behind it. And because he don't want to hear it, he's going to pimp slap her ass out energetically and verbally. And y'all ain't even seen the fucking Zoom meeting, bitch, where he went clean the fuck off on Claudia and went clean the fuck off on Joyce. Like I said in the caption, this was a mild Zoom meeting. The ending caption says, as you can hear Al Reynolds banging on the table while talking to Joyce instead of maintaining professional decorum. This is only a bird's eye view into how he would treat this 70-year-old just for holding him accountable. Professionalism isn't just about how you behave on the floor, but also how you behave privately to your superiors and coworkers. He called Wiggins boy, but he was never behaving like a man himself. It's time for Al to answer for his hostility and narcissism. It's time for him to stand before the court of public opinion. If more lies are told, more receipts and facts will drop in their place. And it'll drop right here, exclusively on CTV, on Consciouztv with a Z. And it will not end well for Al, I can assure you. So he better take the advice of everybody screaming, don't answer back, Al. Don't answer back. Yeah. You better not answer back. And you better not have Sean ass answering back either. There is far more that can be unveiled. And because these two are idiots, I got a feeling that they're going to force the truth to fully land on top of Al's head, he can't even live these 2 uploads down. He damn sure won't be able to live what's to come down at all. The last slide says, between Joyce protecting Al from other producers and his co-workers and Al's intention to screw over everyone, TGIF could not stand a chance of survival in its final hour. All of this could have been avoided had producers did what they were supposed to. Instead, the lack thereof resulted in unresolved tensions boiling over, sinking the ship for everyone on board. 6 passengers on board, producers included, 0 lives survived, but all bodies, in fact, recovered. Now remember, let me pull this actually back up. In the first upload of the Zoom meeting, this one here, where you can see Joyce, Wiggins, and Claudia in a Zoom meeting, you also hear a male voice who you can't see him in screen. That would be the infamous producer, Justin, the one that Al was alleging was having an inappropriate relationship with Wiggins. The one that he was alleging was having, was fraternizing. Okay, that Armon had fucked his way into the position. So you hear Justin's voice when Al goes to say, not Al, but when Claudia brings up, because at this point, Claudia's snatching wigs, okay? She telling all the goddamn church's business because she can't put up with none of this shit no more. She's at her wit's ends, okay? And she calling cap because Joyce has been aware and a part of all of these team meetings that she's sitting in front of Wiggins denying. But here's where Joyce fucked up at. She didn't know that Wiggins and Claudia had already had a one-off, that they had already reconciled, that they had already come together and crisscross and cross-reference notes. So Joyce was shook and she was unprepared when she was sitting there attempting to put Wiggins into the goddamn sunken place, when she was sitting there attempting to make him believe, girl, that he is a paranoid schizophrenic, and she don't know why he would believe something so fucking preposterous that there was a meeting without him where Al slammed him about sleeping with the producer. Because Joyce didn't know that Wiggins had already got the facts because him and Claudia had already traded off receipts. And he could see from the text messages themselves, Al responding and communicating to Claudia about still wanting to do this meeting to get Wiggins out. Joyce was prepared for Claudia, because remind you, now Joyce is experiencing the second version of Claudia. Claudia, who was on the defense with Wiggins coming in, was with the shits. She already admitted she was with the shits. Her and Wiggins done discussed that she was with the shits because he was coming in strong. He was coming in divisive. He was coming in as Funky Dineva's flunky. He was coming in Team Al Reynolds. So rightfully so, she was like, bitch, I'm not going to be stuck between a rock and a hard place, girl. Either the rock got to go or the hard place, bitch. But y'all definitely not going to have me sandwiched in between both these Team Funky Dineva ass motherfuckers who trying to do me in. So if one of them wanted to work to get the other one out, hey, I'm down for it. So be it, bitch. There's going to be relief up in this motherfucker. But Claudia had already owned that. And that's the version, that's the last version of Claudia that Joyce had experienced. So when Joyce was sitting in front of Claudia, talking to Wiggins about a meeting that she is alleging never happened, that wig reversed on her head, baby. That wig started spinning like a damn spinning top on the table, girl. Spinning, girl. That motherfucking wig started leaning, shoulder leaning, girl. She was not prepared for Claudia to clock it, girl. to clock her in to her job, girl. She was not expecting Claudia, girl, to clock her ass into the job, girl. Baby, Joyce was given, I'm on my lunch break energy, girl. Claudia clocked her ass right on into the job with the tea, bitch, with the truth, and left Joyce with no choice but to say, you are absolutely correct, girl. She didn't even have a rebuttal. She couldn't even have an argument. Claudia didn't even give her time, girl, to even co-wangle a lie. She polarized her ass, electrified her ass so immediately and so in the moment with the gag, girl, that all that could happen was Joyce being compelled by the power of Christ, girl, to come forward in the truth, bitch. Girl, I was screaming down at the fact that Joyce, she wasn't ready. But not only was Joyce protecting Al from Wiggins and Claudia, and not only was Al Reynolds Jones III trying to get Wiggins and Claudia fired, you could hear Justin voice. He's there in voice, there in spirit, girl, listening to this whole ordeal. When Claudia pulls the second leg of the read down and says, girl, he also, Joyce, Dora, the Explorer, was trying to get Justin ass fired, right, Joyce? Because he felt that the show was becoming too gay. It was giving girl RuPaul Drag Race up in this motherfucker. It was giving Logo in here, girl. It was giving Pride Festival in October in this bitch, girl. And he wanted Justin to be sat the fuck down and have Daisy in his place. And you could hear Justin on the side. Let me let you hear it for yourself, since we already got it queued up in this bitch.
So we weren't speaking. So all of us aren't speaking like we're supposed to. But Joyce and Al are still speaking very much. And Al has been very much been creating them, been puppeteering all of us to be at odds. And then all it took was me finally have a conversation with Armon, because I did not like the feeling. I was like, you know what? I love doing this show, and I want us to get along. I want to extend an olive branch to him, and I'm glad he was open to it. We spoke, and now we're good, Joyce. And that's why the show has been really good the last few days, because we're not being kept at odds. Fun.
What? That's what he said. And I said, oh, okay. Well, that's a good idea. You know.
Have you ever told Justin this?
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I told Justin. I told Justin the overall theme of what our conversation was. That's what.
No, you didn't tell me that Al said the show was becoming heavily gay. This is new to me, Joyce.
Justin says, girl, you told me what? Girl, you didn't tell me a damn. Joyce is delusional. I'm telling you, Joyce gives me the kind of bitch, girl, who will just let the newborn baby in the cradle, girl, just run out of breath, girl. Okay? Or just like, you know, be dusting the room where the crib is, girl, and just be hearing the baby struggling, girl, and just be kind of whistling to herself, like, and just dusting about, and just quietly leave the room, girl, without providing any medical intervention, girl. How in the hell you gonna have girl, you already done been clocked as a liar and had to have Claudia compel your ass as it relates to admitting that Al did originate the rumor and brought it to fucking HR, brought it to production in an attempt to get Wiggins fired. But you gonna still take a second shot of line, bitch? And have Claudia open up about how Al also wanted Justin off the job because Justin was querying up the place, girl. And then you gonna lie knowing the man is right there and can contest you. You gonna lie knowing that the man is right there and can say, absolutely not, Miss Mamas. Joyce, ass get to talking for 3 seconds, and Justin like, what? Who? Where? You ain't never told me none of this. Just lying and lying and lying. Just lying. So we also have Justin clocking Joyce's ass. And like I said in the last caption, between Joyce and between Al Reynolds Jones III, TGIF at this point right here, it was unsalvageable. Between Joyce and Al, girl, they had TGIF in a total fucking chokehold. There was no way, girl, to resuscitate this. Okay, the spirit of TGIF was already before the father, girl, being judged. The time to reconnect and realign to the body had expired, girl. It was dead. She was gone. But let me tell you what's interesting about Al Reynolds Jones III complaining about how gay the show is just speaks to Al's flippant, fucked up Gemini ass two-faced energy. I think he's a Gemini. Because this is the same man who told Lunel that he absolutely was walking around at a time where it was not trendy and queer people didn't even feel that comfortable coming out, that he was walking around as a mixed race black man, dating a black woman, open about being with men, open about his sexuality. How you gonna tell Lunel that and try to parade around as some type of proud, uncloseted bisexual girl, and you can't even appreciate the LGBT culture that shows up on the show? And this is why I said yesterday, this man still has a complex to this day around his masculinity, around his femininity, and around his sexuality. It's 1,200 y'all in the building, and we only got 380 likes, y'all. Come on now. Come on, y'all. I'm working my ass off, and thumbing up don't cost you nothing. If you are a Bush baby part of Replay Gang, are you active right now? Please slide up and give me a thumbs up, because I'm working for you right now. I'm working for you right now. I have the tea. I'm working for you to give y'all the tea, to make it make sense for y'all. We work together, okay? I bring the content, I bring the show, and you all bring the thumbs up and the support. Thank you, babies. Love you down. But how is this man walking around proud while secretly not even wanting the show to be gay, because he still to this day don't want to be that guy? He still ain't comfortable in that way, girl. He don't want to be in too much of a gay space, girl, because he ain't that free. He might got his head out of the closet, but the rest of his body is still to the bike of that motherfucker. Because everything about Miss Al Reynolds Jones III is performative and egoic and all for an image. He wants to appear proud while still being a self-hating ass pussy bopping Negro. Star Jones, I blame this on you, Miss Mama, because when you was pegging this nigga, you didn't butt break his ass hard enough, baby. He's still clenching his ass cheeks to this day while trying to stand the rain. Had his head out of the closet and had his ass to the bike of that motherfucker. Okay? Our self-esteem is still downloading, girl. His liberation, girl, is still downloading. Now, if this is how uncomfortable you are in your own skin, if this is how uncomfortable you is in your own being, then what other things in Reynolds is he uncomfortable with? Because we got to refer back to that interview with Funky Dineva and Carlos King, where his friend put him on blast, being insecure, being the most insecure, always second guessing himself, always being self-critical, feeling inferior to Claudia Jordan. You never heard Funky say one thing that Claudia ever did to Al. Funky, even in that moment, when he actually had to be honest, had to keep it 100 and stand on business. Never said that woman did one thing to that nigga. Said that nigga was the one who was insecure. That nigga was the one who was inferior. That's what came out of his friend's mouth. So, of course, if he wasn't even comfortable being gay and being bisexual, you know what else Reynolds wasn't okay with being? Broke. He wasn't uncomfortable not having as much relevancy as Claudia and Funky does to the culture. He wasn't comfortable sitting with his peers because you know what he suffered from, y'all? He suffered from impostor syndrome. This is really at the basis of all of Al's issues. Is suffering from something called impostor syndrome. This is a real life medical issue, psychological issue and condition. Let's refer to this super quick, you know, because we're building here. We're building. Y'all know how I do, baby. I give all of it to y'all. Imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is when you doubt your own skills and successes. You feel you're not as talented or worthy as others believe, and you're scared that one day people will realize that. Although it's not a mental health diagnosis, the imposter syndrome can cause real harm in different areas of your life. You might also hear it called imposter phenomenon or fraud syndrome. I like that statement better, fraud syndrome or imposter experience. Many people with imposter syndrome notice a pattern in how they behave. Let's say you have to prepare a big presentation for work or school. If you have imposter syndrome, you could get very anxious about it and worry that you won't do a good enough job. That can lead to one or two outcomes. You put off what needs to be done until the last minute. You procrastinate. Who big ass elephant fetus does? And then you do a lot of work than what you need to do. So you overcompensate. Now, right, go back to what Funky said. Al always had to have his notes. Al always was second guessing himself. He was always worried about if he was doing well. Al was literally living a double life in every way that you could imagine. He was literally created an alter ego. He created a mask. The mask is known as Al Reynolds, the put together college professor who is educated, who's the big man on campus, and the real Al Jones, who's a piss poor, confused, mixed race boy from the trailer park in ghettos of the Southwest. Not quite knowing who the fuck he is, having not done his work entirely. And now he's sitting with two explicitly successful human beings. And he wants to be there because he wants those stripes and he wants that prestige and he wants all of that grandeur and accolade because he thinks that that's a real measure to the soul that needs the surgery. Like most people, he was trying to heal it from the outside in. But at the same time, he developed a complex because he knew, like all imposters do, that they are a fraud. They're not that, in fact. And because it becomes too hard for them to deal with that reality, what they do to soothe that is they become a hating asshole to the people who are, in fact, that. So when you listen to Funky Dineva and you listen to Claudia talk about Al sending pictures of Claudia's car and house around, and Al and Funky talking shit about Claudia, the truth is, even though Al has a much more severe case of imposter syndrome, Funky Dineva does too. And that was the crux of why he was hating for no reason on Claudia. While they were both cackling and both talking shit and both feeling like, oh, this bitch must think she all this. She gotta be making more money than us. She gotta be this. So then Funky started having an ego fucking problem. He started his imposter syndrome complex started to fuck up. And when Fox bruised his ego entirely by saying, sir, as much as you bring to the table, we're not giving you no more money, his imposter syndrome reared its ugly head. Because he was already inferior and feeling away toward Claudia. Both him and Al did. They were trauma bonding on both of their imposter syndrome. Al had a much more severe case of it than Funky did, but Funky nonetheless has an imposter syndrome complex as well. So now they started ganging up on Claudia ass. She don't know why she getting weird. Why y'all talking shit? Why y'all talking about my car? Why y'all talking about my motherfucking house? Why, like, we all friends. What the fuck are y'all doing? You know, her brain is glitching and scrambling because she can't diagnose the situation. All she can do is just experience what's going on without having a context of why these people acting like this. What the fuck is this? Because if you don't know these things, you don't have a context, and it'll confuse you even more as to why motherfuckers moving around you, why your friends are becoming frenemies. And all you know is that they acting weird and they switching up and they being weirdos, but not knowing why. And you can't process it because they ain't doing nothing to fix it and to rectify it other than continuing to be fake and laugh in her face while doing funky, fake ass shit behind her back. Al Reynolds was an insecure piece of shit with an identity complex, wrapped up in a sexuality complex, wrapped up in a self-esteem complex that turned him into the two-faced ass person that he always is in friendship groups. Because remember, not only did Al get Dr. Heavenly fired and banned from TGIF, I showed y'all her own testimony. I also have the receipts for it too. She didn't even finish her week out. They paid her out her $12.50. And guess who it was that called her and told her, hey, we're going to go in a different direction? Miss Joyce. The mammy who had her lips around the flaccid penis of Miss Al Reynolds Jones III. Not only did he get Dr. Heavenly fired and was now trying to get Claudia dethroned off her own shit and trying to get newcomer Wiggins dethroned, and was also trying to get Justin ass fired and dethroned as well. Al was not only the same fake ass friend that told all of Jennifer Williams' tea in business, guess what else he did? I want to show y'all something. Check out this excerpt from Carlos King's reality show, The Next 15, starring Jennifer Williams and Claudia Jordan, who were at odds on the show, and everything came to an head at the reunion. Check out this reunion clip from Carlos King's First 15, starring Jennifer Williams and Claudia Jordan. Listen to this shit.
Yeah. Did she not say that she had light-skinned bitches on the set? Get the away from me.
Is she still screaming?
I'm gonna whip her ass and everybody else.
We've really developed a friendship.
She's busted. This is your spread open on the internet.
What?
The friendship.
She's busted. This is your spread open on the internet.
What?
The friendship.
She's busted. This is your spread open on the internet.
What?
Now, the reason I needed y'all to see that is because guess what? That was Claudia and Jennifer's contention coming to a head. And Claudia showing alleged pictures of Jennifer to Jennifer of her own coochie. Guess who gave Claudia Jennifer Williams pussy pictures? Mr. Reynolds. Jennifer's own good Judy. Jennifer's friend who put Al onto Basketball Wives, allowed Al to get a little, feature check on Basketball Wives, toted him around as, her little light-skinned dewdrop. And guess who sent Claudia the intel on Jen? Her own bestie. This is what Al allegedly does. If you are successful and you are connected to Al Reynolds, you are more than likely being hoodwinked, bamboozled, and set up for the okie dokie and sabotaged as a result. Because of impostor syndrome, my personal opinion, my personal diagnosis, because he fits the description and it actually explains all of his behavior. That one psychological condition explains all of his behavior and all of his relationships, from his relationship to Star, his relationship to Jennifer, his relationship to Claudia, his relationship to Wiggins, his relationship to Joyce, his relationship to Justin. If you are successful, your ass is being set up. Al is the nigga, just like he was to Claudia and like he was to Wiggins, smiling in your face with a big old grin and a sweater tied around his goddamn neck, like he's Carlton from the damn Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and is sending all of your shit out behind your back and is trying to fuck up what it is you've created and worked your whole life to have, all because he feels not good enough. And if he can't have it, bitch, nobody will. As you guys can see from the receipts, as you guys can see from the leaked Zoom call between Claudia, Wiggins, and Joyce, as you can see from the receipts that Wiggins posted, showing Al Reynolds triangulating as the head narcissist. If he can't have it, and because he don't feel good enough for it, No bitch will. That envy, that word envy, not jealousy, envy, that word envy that the scriptures talk about, baby. This is why I tell y'all ass, suffer not an envious bitch. I don't give a fuck how sweet an envious bitch come off. I don't give a damn how talented they may be. Stay your ass away from an envious, devious bitch. These are the kind of people who will unalive your ass and set your motherfucking ass up and have your ass done just because they can't deal with your legendariness. They can't deal with your fucking iconicness. They can't deal with your beauty. They can't deal with your talent. They can't deal. Now let's move into the motive. So, Al, and some people were already clocking it in the comment section. That's how I know I ain't the only one who went to school to get my master's in noseology. So shout out to the Consciouztv girl who had they thinking caps, capping girl, okay? Because some of the Consciouztv girl had clocked it. You want to know why Al why he did all this? Why was he trying to get Claudia removed from her own show? Why was he trying to get Wiggins out of the way? Why was he trying to get Justin out of the way? Why? Well, he had to get Justin out of the way because he didn't like Wiggins. And as long as Justin was in place, Wiggins was going to be in place, since Wiggins got the job as a result of his plug with Justin, his connect to Justin. So Justin had to go as a casualty of war to getting Wiggins out of the way. As long as Justin had a job, Wiggins was also going to be in that seat. But why did he want Justin gone and Wiggins gone and Claudia gone? Why did he want Claudia and Wiggins gone? Remember when Al was on his channel? This probably would have been like out of the first 2 videos Al did when he was starting his channel up. And somebody had asked him in the chat. Matter of fact, I think it might have actually been the video where he called himself giving his perspective on Funky leaving. And somebody in the chat had asked him and said, you know, you and Funky should do a show together. He was like, oh, I would love that. That would be a dream come true. I would love to work with Funky. You know, I would love for me and Funky to create some. I would love to, you know, do something on his show or whatever it was. I would love it. What y'all also didn't know was I was saying, and yeah, bitch, we gonna do it. We gonna do the show called TGIF. Now remember, Al is slow. So just because he got an idea don't mean it's a smart one. And just because he got an idea and a plan don't mean that he's going to actually execute. Okay, because he's slow. Okay? So Al decided, being the narcissist and the imposter-induced syndrome person that he is, decided, I know Funky would only come back because if Claudia and Wiggins was gone. So I'm going to work to get them out of the way so that I can bring Funky Dineva back in and we can pop off and be the dynamic duo and run this shit up in here. Because in Al's mind also, Funky was the show. And you got to remember, Al is shallow and superficial. Everything is about being opportunistic. Everything is about winning and victory and looking and appearing as something that he's not. The only way he could continue to look truly successful is if it was connected to Funky, who was bringing in the bulk of the views, bringing in the bulk of the viewer retention, who was bringing in the motherfucking numbers. So he decided, I'm going to use Wiggins because he knew he naive, he's stupid, but he also already got a relationship to Funky. So he's already going to be comfortable with me coming in because me and Funky friends, and him and Funky cool. So I know I already got his ass wrapped around my finger. And because I know how thirsty he is too for the spotlight, bitch, I know he'll fall for the okie dokie easy. And unfortunately, Wiggins proved him right by being with the shits immediately, which was reflected in the damn text messages that he showed. He was with the shits. He was with dethroning Claudia. He was with getting her ass out. He was talking shit about Claudia behind her back to Al, etc. And then Al, once he realized that Wiggins really was actually a nuisance, and he really didn't want to work with somebody who had the potential to call his ass out or to challenge his talking points or to correct him about anything, he like, oh yeah, well, I got to get your ass out too, bitch, because you ain't a perfect fit either. I'm just going to use both motherfucking people against each other. I know I'm already driving Claudia ass crazy. She already want to quit her own show. I'm already giving her motherfucking hell. She already knows I'm Team Funky Dineva. She already know I got Joy strapped around my motherfucking finger, so I'm acting a fool up in this motherfucker and on camera. I'm over talking her when we live. I'm talking all through her. I'm being rude because who gonna check me, boo? Not really nobody. Not really nobody. So I already got her ass right at the edge of the goddamn cliff, bitch. All I need is to intensify and toxify the environment a little bit more, and I'm sure that her mental health will collapse, and she'll just throw in her towel the way that Funky threw in his over the money situation. And because he didn't like Wiggins, because Wiggins wasn't totally predictable, he had to get Wiggins out too. And he knew because Wiggins was being endorsed publicly by Funky, who said, oh yeah, I think he'd make a great addition to the show. I got the perfect recipe, and it almost worked. Now, here's the gag. I believe that Funky, and from what I'm told, Funky was possibly in on this whole thing. So Funky did his part following his departure. Because on top of his own imposter syndrome and being envious of everything that Claudia was, being a boss bitch, she was the one that was able to come up with ideas. That was her talent. She was able to be the one to put niggas on. They ain't put her on the shit. So his own imposter syndrome was being triggered up by her shit. He wanted to make sure that he earned as much, making sure he was making as much money as her. He was competing with her ass. And when Fox didn't want to cut him the check, he felt also that that was a win for Claudia. That was his ego told him, not what Claudia told him. This was all of his own self-abusive, self-intrusive ass thinking. You know, when we sit around and produce toxic ass narratives, because it supports the toxic condition we in. So him and Al were having pillow talk like, look, let's tank the fucking show, bitch. I'll help you do that. You work that hoe off that show. Fuck that bitch. We gonna bring Wiggins in. I will load Wiggins' ass up because I know he dumb and he's gullible. You finish the deal. Play nice with his ass. Take him under your wing. Because remember what Wiggins said in his tell-all. He said Funky never left the show. He said Funky never left TGIF. So Funky was still puppeteering behind the scenes because he was working in tandem with Wiggins and working in tandem with Al to break Claudia ass down. He did his part by deciding to come. I'm gonna come on at 8. Because if I come on at 8, this is going to really make shit shake because I'm bringing the bulk of the fucking views. And because views equal dollars and dollars equal longevity, this is going to collapse Claudia's shit. And I can do that with you still on board the ship, Al, because I got you if anything happens. I got you, girl. I'll figure out something for us to do on my show. You know, we can figure out something to create together if this don't work like we want it to work. But this should work. But either way, girl, I got you. So then, plan gets executed. Armon done bought. He done bit the apple. He's Eve in the situation. Everything is working in tandem. But the intervention of it cut the shit in half when Claudia's woman intuition and her professionalism drove her ass to trying to get on the phone with Wiggins, whom admitted wasn't fucking with Claudia when he came in, wasn't answering the phone for her. She got Justin involved. Finally had a conversation, everything comes to a head, and then the rest is motherfucking history. And here's the thing about it. Funky went out of his way in our interview to play stupid to Al's diva ways and him being problematic because Funky needed his own hands clean. Because the whole psyop was to fuck Claudia over. Fuck Claudia over. But I also gotta now tell it back because once we end Claudia, it needs to look natural. Her death her metaphorical death needs to look natural. So I can't be out here rah-rah-rahing on her name. I can't be out here rah-rah-rahing on her ass like this. I gotta scale it back so that none of the evidence can find its way back to me. And this is why Funky played stupid to the end, even after Wiggins had ripped his ass up in the response video. He was still playing stupid. I don't know. This was a part of what was driving Wiggins' ass out of his mind. Because everybody been with the shit. And now everybody playing stupid. And everybody think I'm the reason for the da-da-da-da-da. Now, once again, we already been tugging on Wiggins' wig. We all know Wiggins had a choice. Wiggins decided to exacerbate the circumstances by coming in fucked up. So he's not a victim. He's not. He's not a victim. But he did not single-handedly tank TGIF. The particular narrative, once Wiggins and Claudia made up, and now he was more lucid and he was realizing what the fuck this was going to cost him to keep up with this shit, which is, girl, I'm actually participating unbeknownst to me in the ending of a project that I just got in. So he started waking up once him and Claudia had a conversation, and the particular narrative of Wiggins is fucking Justin was going to literally cost Wiggins his spot. And that was an issue because they have it within their contracts. I've seen the contracts that there's no fraternizing with employees, with co-workers. So this is a narrative that had to be addressed. That's why Wiggins was pressed to have it dealt with. Bitch, get the Zoom meeting. How dare y'all have had a conversation and a meeting about an allegation of this fucking nature, knowing that this could cost me my fucking job, and y'all didn't bring me into that dialogue to allow me to fend for myself? Because what Al did was not only simply let it be known, oh, yeah, he's fucking Justin, and I feel uncomfortable, and blah, 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 blah. But he also claimed that Wiggins told him this himself while they were hanging out in LA. That, while we were partying and drinking, he told me that him and Justin was dating. He told me that him and Justin was fucking. I know this to be true. But because Al had Joyce mammy ass wrapped around, had her mammified ass wrapped around his finger, Joyce was willing to isolate Wiggins and ultimately to get rid of Wiggins, if that what Al was wanting. But Joyce wanted her hands free too, which is why she was trying to convince Wiggins to, don't worry about it. It's not a problem. Because Joyce also knew something else her ass wasn't prepared for. She didn't know if Al was telling the truth or not. So if it came out and she had to help lead an investigation into these claims, which she didn't, that meeting only happened because Wiggins and Claudia pressed for it. Not even because the executive producer was supposed to press for it and press for it. But in the hypothetical that what Al said and introduced to the higher-ups wasn't true, Joyce was literally trying to avoid being the bitch to have to tell Al, you gotta go. Her incompetence, because of her willingness to be a people pleaser, to be a severe people pleaser, it crippled her ability to be a badass bitch and to be a boss bitch and to be a leader in the situation like she's paid to do. Her severe, crippling, people-pleasing complex was getting the best of her, and it was helping her to, unbeknownst to her, to participate in tanking the fucking show. I knew that Funky was lying about not knowing that Al was a diva, because I have Zoom meetings of his ass sitting right there in Zoom meetings while Al is acting a goddamn fool. But he said in that interview like he was supposed to, because everybody was on code. He on code. Reynolds is on code. And once again, they get into the tail end now. Shit done hit the fan now. So now everybody want to play stupid. Like, me and Al ain't that close. Me and Al ain't that. But he been calling Al a friend the whole time up until the Carlos interview. While the show was happening and they were driving Claudia raggedy, getting her out her spot more and more. Oh, he was a friend. Every time you heard Dineva speak about Al, they were friends. Now all of a sudden, the plan didn't go as executed because the whole show got tanked. So now there's nothing to bring Funky Dineva into, because Wiggins and Claudia done made the fuck up and done pulled a reverse fucking Uno. And now Al don't want to speak. He don't want to sit before the court of public opinion, even though he got a show called The Public Opinion. He want to hide his hands. He want to have his goddamn guard dog Sean out here with no goddamn receipts, just spinning narratives, trying to put people into the goddamn sunken place. And he's out here in interviews. We ain't that close. I mean, we. I ain't never heard Dineva take so many breaths. I ain't never hear him take so many pauses. I ain't never see him pussy pop so severely as it relates to, whether him and Al are friends. All of a sudden now, we not as close as people think we are. Now all of a sudden now, everybody trying to hide the evidence. Everybody now trying to hide the body. Everybody trying now to hide the bleach they use to try to scrub the blood from the floor. Now everybody trying to hide the motherfucking caches of weapons. Now everybody ass is running amok, baby. Now that there's a federal fucking investigation, girl. Now that all the shit is hitting the fan, girl. Now everybody need to play the I don't know nothing ass game. I don't know them people. Who is Al Reynolds, y'all? Who is he? My hair is laid like a good lie, bitch. Who is Al Reynolds? Who said that? Trying to get Claudia fired? Who said that? Trying to use Wiggins as a pawn? Who said that? That's why that bitch ran over to Instagram to make himself in this situation the equivalent of Portia, who was being masterminded by Phaedra, aka Al Reynolds, because this was Al Reynolds' idea. Funky was okay with walking away and not being a part of the show. But hey, if Al wanted to be with the shits and help to tank Claudia because they both got an imposter syndrome that Claudia is paying the price for just for being that bitch in the situation. And because Funky is low vibrational and with the shits, you're like, okay, cool, girl. If you think you can pull it off, then pull it off. And because I'm with the shits, I'll do my part to tank that shit. I'll do my part to ruin that shit. I'll do my part. Because you got to make it, because we had to make it make sense, right? Why in the hell would Al have never caught Dineva out for trying to tank the show that he was still on? The $250 a year he was still on. Funky Dineva was, and literally admitted in the Carlos King, it was intentional. I intentionally went on at the same time. He kept trying to clean it up, but the truth kept bursting out too at the same time, because that's how truth is. Truth is a big bitch in some really skinny jeans. So even when the ego is trying to compress truth so fucking obese that it be ripping out the seams, girl, and it turn your skinny jeans into a pair of ripped jeans, girl, because truth is a fat bitch. So you can't really hide the truth, girl, okay? The love handles and everything gonna be hanging all out of the goddamn sides and shit, bitch, okay? Even when you trying your best to be manipulative, even when you trying your best to pussy pop, even when you trying your best to be damn deceptive, bitch, even when you trying your best, girl, okay, to be on your best dark psychology ass shit, girl, you're gonna slip up organically because the truth is a big bitch who gonna rip them skinny ass jeans up no matter how much you try to Ozempic her ass, baby. She a big bitch by nature. So the only way to not let the truth get you caught up is to just simply wear the truth and all of this big bitch garments, girl, to just be a big and tall bitch. That's the only way, girl, to not let the truth slip you up, is for you to just accept being a metaphorically big bitch. So the truth was jumping out. And I was, and remember, we was over here because I kept dropping it off like, y'all don't think it's weird that our ass don't got nothing to say to Dineva or about Dineva, and this bitch is over here literally talking shit about Fox Soul, saying the equipment is cheap and coming on that aid and tanking the show, and like, how can Al have no how can Dineva have no conscience about the fact that his friend's still on the ship that he's trying to sink? How could that be? It's because, bitch, all of it was intentional. They were trying to sabotage Claudia ass and get her ass out of the way. They were both on code. This was a part of the diabolical ass dark-sided plan to get Claudia ass out of the way and to get Wiggins out of the way, because both of them knew going in that Wiggins is unpredictable. He does have a low emotional IQ, and he's going to be a liability. eventually, because he always ends up being a liability. So we know we got to have an exit plan for his ass too. So, you know, he got to have a short-lived role in all of this. Hence the interview. Yeah, I loaded him up. I gave Wiggins the play-by-play. Yeah, that was the plan. We gonna use this bitch to help tank the fucking show. We gonna use this bitch to help drive Claudia out of her fucking mind and either force this bitch to quit or force them to fire her ass because she's being ran so raggedy that eventually she gonna start having outbursts. She gonna become such a nuisance. She gonna become such a complainer that it's gonna force her to quit, or hopefully they'll get tired of her femininity running around there upset all day and just let her fucking go. Al never had, he praised Funky Dineva, even as Funky was helped to tank the show. And I was the only person that found that shit odd. What's going on, Dr. Soapy? Hey, boo. I was the only motherfucker to find that shit odd. I said, yo, what the fuck? And I was still over there on TGIF, like Team Funky. Yeah, that's my friend on his backup channel. That's my friend by his friend. It's because it was all a part of the plan. And unfortunately, the issue with Claudia caught up in the vortex of this is that because Claudia is somebody who kind of has she has a past that probably will continue to follow her since her comments are chronicled online, you know, her off-putting jokes about dark-skinned men and all of that and all of this is out there, and there's people who want to make sure that the world stays reminded of what Claudia Jordan said 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, because she's coming in with that. And on top of the fact that for a lot of viewers, they're standing, you know, she's read Anini down to the ground, you know, so there are fans who don't like her because, hey, you know, you was coming for my favorite bitch. You was coming for my girl. You was coming for the teens. Miss Mamas. You know, so there are people who don't like her for that, coupled with the anti-Black jokes from way back when. So now that it's time for Claudia to actually be like a genuine victim of circumstances, a lot of people find it hard. Well, a lot less people now that the receipts are out, but prior to the receipts, prior to the leaked Zoom calls, a lot of people found it hard to see Claudia as a victim. It took the leaked calls to show what the core of the culprit was and who the real villain of the story was, because nobody has produced a well enough theory as of yet to make Claudia's actions justifiable. Why would this woman would have wanted to tank her show? Why would this fucking woman who making all this money, has a great relationship to Fox, why the fuck would she have wanted to ruin her good name in the business? Because she's brought Fox plenty of tea, plenty of shows. Cocktails with Divas, her own show. She brought her the T.S. Madison show. She brought the network all that. That's all Claudia doing. So why in the fuck would she want to sabotage? This woman got 30, 40 fucking years in the industry and is still working today on mainstream television. Deal or no deal. College Hill. Fox. The whole nine. In movies. Has a consistently working deal. Just at the BET Awards. Red carpet. Took the stage. She's still just as relevant today as she was then. Why in the fuck would she be wanting to fuck up her workplace experience intentionally, have fucked up relationships with her coworkers when she got double doors to fucking buy and BMWs to pull up in the goddamn yard, and you think that it would have benefited her to be a messy bitch for a network that she's had a consistent positive rapport with, that is paying her great motherfucking money for 1 hour out of the goddamn day, 4 days out of the motherfucking week. Out of all the people talking about it's Claudia, I ain't heard not one motherfucker make it make sense. Why? Her Bentley coupe, her BMW, her UFO. What the reason? What's the reason, bitch? What's the reason? You think Claudia can't do, bitch, without a $250K a check, bitch? She can. Even Funky Dineva, who walked away, had to also say, bitch, I'm kind of almost out of my mind from walking away from it. Even he had to say in his initial rebuttal, girl, that I'm kind of low-key out of my own damn mind from walking away such an easy $250,000 a year. Y'all just don't want to like her, and y'all are dragging all this extra baggage into a situation separate from her comments from 10 years ago, separate from her warring with your favorite on Real Housewives of Atlanta and dragging the Roman noodles off her goddamn head. And shout out to Claudia for standing up to wide back shoulder ass Nene Leakes, who was acting a plum Donald Trump fool on that season of Housewives and needed a bitch to humble her ass. Nene was disgusting toward the new cast member Demetria after Demetria had welcomed all of them, her and fake ass, fraudulent ass Faye to Puerto Rico, the Cayman Islands, wherever the hell they was, had invited Nene. And on this girl's time, on this girl's dime, and her being a newbie, them hoes get there to that dinner, roast her down to the ground, girl, make fun of her music career and her being 40 trying to be a pop star. And, you know, because Demetria is new and she's trying to keep it cute, you know, she, of course, probably wanted to defend herself, but didn't know how the optics would play out. So Claudia, girl, just like y'all saw her standing in the gap for a dark-skinned black man, the colorist standing in for a dark-skinned black man, confronting Joyce, girl, putting all out on the motherfucking line about another biracial. For her to be a colorist, girl, she damn sure wasn't on code, okay, and was standing in the gap for a dark-skinned black man as it relates to another mixed-race nigga. And Claudia Jordan sat her ass at that table and took on Demetria's plight and said, baby, you know what? You ain't even got to do nothing, honey. Don't rock the boat, bitch. I'm about to upside down this hole right now and drag the living shit out of Nene motherfucking Leakes. And also drove her ass out of that fundraiser kitchen, girl, where they were putting all them damn cold-ass corn on the cobs on people's plates and shit, bitch. Drove her ass right out of that kitchen, girl. Drove it right on out, honey. Okay, I love a bitch who likes to bully a bully. I love bullies who bully bullies. Checkmate. And so what? She read your fave down to the ground. So what? She proved that your fave was a punk ass bitch and wasn't about that motherfucking life. So what? She proved that Nene knew exactly who to play with, bitch. You might can yoke up Kim Zodiac ass on the side of the U-Haul, girl. But we know who you not to strangle. We know who you not, girl, to swing on. We know the only person, girl, you will play with, bitch, is Kim Zodiac. Act bad. Act bad. Who's bad? Okay, so what? So what? She read your fave down. So what? And did. And then people upset at her, girl, for, you know, her and Tiny. Her and Tiny are actually friends. They actually communicate. They actually have a relationship. You got people mad at Claudia Jordan over relationships she actually currently has with people. While people are reliving the version of Claudia that was not cool with people at a time and was dragging their ass. Excuse me, Tiny got drugged by more than just Claudia. She almost got drugged by the feds when her and her motherfucking husband was caught up in all this motherfucking SA trafficking that involved underage girls, intoxicated and drugged ass women and men who testified that Tiny was with the shits and orchestrating inappropriate ass sexual sessions with people while they were drugged up unbeknownst to themselves and helping T.I. to put his big toe in people's pussy. Deal with that shit when you want to defend Tiny ass. Deal with the fact that Tiny married a nigga who almost unalived another motherfucking woman right in front of Tiny ass. Deal with Tiny ass for being a woman who chose to have kids with a nigga who wanted more to be a thug than to be a father. Because T.I. spent his whole time as a dad getting locked up on drug charges, on GUN charges, on infidelity. You want to talk about it? Let's motherfucking talk about it. Let's not just carve out the parts where Claudia ass is the big bad wolf. Let's talk about everybody else's toxicity too. Let's do it. Let's talk about Nene being so fucking bitter that she was trying to sabotage Cynthia Bailey's fucking job on the Real Housewives of Atlanta just because Cynthia wasn't fucking with her ass no more. And she was running to Andy Cohen, trying to talk about who the hell didn't deserve to be on the show. Let's talk about how Nene ass inserted herself in the Phaedra and Portia debacle and ran to Andy ass to talk about how they should not be on the show getting to a bag. Let's talk about all the fucking bags Nene Leakes ass pulled. Let's talk about Nene ass lying about her her racially oriented lawsuit against Bravo. She talked all that shit in that lawsuit, only to turn around and say she was willing to negotiate with Bravo and get back into a working relationship. Why would you want to be in a working relationship with the Ku Klux Klans, bitch? You done got out here and said these people been racist, these people been racially biased, these people done led all type of Klan meetings against your ass, and here it is, your thirst bucket ass really just pulled one out of your ass in order to cash another Donald Trump check. And when it didn't work, then you were willing to soften up and go back to the plantation, go back to them racist ass people. Stop motherfucking playing with me. All this motherfucking selective ass outrage, all this pussy popping, cherry picking ass shit these motherfuckers doing just to justify the hate and the narrative they want to have on a motherfucker's neck. Because, baby, we can run down all the fuck shit that Miss Nene done did to people. We can do it. We can produce those compilations. We can run down all the allegations against Tiny and her husband. We can do that, baby. We can put that lookbook together. All the motherfuckers that people claim they standing in the gap for, standing in front of grown, standing up for other problematic ass motherfuckers. If you don't like her, y'all just don't have to like her. But be fair and call a thing and have some particular motherfucking wits about yourself when it's clear that you're biased. If I can sit my ass here and not care for another person who caught up in this situation and still put that aside to call out the fuck shit because of the facts, anybody can goddamn do it. It can be done. It could be done. It could be done. If I can set aside my shit with Wiggins and not let that conflate where the facts liberate his ass at, it can be done. Right, Andrew? No angels in this fight, period. So what I'm being forced to conclude is that this shit with Claudia, as it relates to a lot of the people that hate her and can't stand her, this is about something much deeper than that. This shit ain't got nothing to do with no colorism. This shit ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Ain't got shit to do with nothing. This shit is much deeper than that. This shit, I don't know whether it's because, unfortunately, Claudia, she's self-made. She didn't need a husband in order to be self-made. She did it without a man. I don't know whether it's a lot of women who feel like they got a complex about her because she could do it without kids and she did it without a nigga. That ain't nobody responsible for her wealth. Nobody's responsible for her well-being. Nobody's responsible for her legacy but her. And she don't got to share that with a dick. She don't got to share that with a nigga. Her own talents, her own wits, her own survival instincts, her own. I don't know whether this shit with Claudia is about a pretty privilege. Because unfortunately, yeah, pretty girls get dragged, bitch. All day and all night. Depending on the type of girls they around, baby. Depending on the type of girls who looking, girl. Okay? We don't see a Michelle Brown as featured on the front of Playboy. Ain't nobody crowning her ass as Miss America. There's some complexities here that some people don't want to be honest about. And because they don't have the ability to be honest and they can't come face to face with some difficult truths about themselves, they want to hide their inferiority complexes about Claudia behind, oh, Claudia is a colorist and Claudia is a drama. Bitch, everybody is a drama, including the people commenting on Claudia are drama filled. Messy, everybody messy. Yeah, ain't all y'all collecting the check off of being messy as hell? Y'all damn sure not out here evangelizing the fucking New Testament to folk. You definitely ain't going live about the salvation of Jesus the last time that I looked. You damn sure ain't opening up the book of Leviticus, girl. You damn sure ain't producing no spiritual content. So the last time I checked, I thought this was all about the mess. Now all of a sudden, some people get to be messy and other people don't get to be messy. Girl, I can't. All y'all hoes need to sit on the couch, and I said it, bitch, and figure out what is it truly about Claudia that got some of y'all asses in a goddamn chokehold, baby, because her very presence is exposing the fuck out you hoes. Exposing the fuck out you. Exposing your own insecurities. Exposing your own everything. And I really think the crux of it is between the pretty privilege and the fact that Claudia is self-made. She got a lot of insecure ass women who couldn't do it on their own. And even women who on their own and still couldn't do it in a chokehold. There is a complexity there. Because the way that some of these people are on Claudia's neck, you would think that Claudia was having a goddamn affair, baby, with their baby daddy. You would think that some of these people have lived with Claudia and have anecdotal and personal experiences, girl, with this woman. None of these people can't tell y'all anything she has directly did to them. Their whole plight is shit that's come these way from afar. These way off. These distant as experiences, girl. You would think that this woman done defrauded them, done fucked they nigga, done ran off with their damn fiance. A goddamn fool. A goddamn fool. She's a bad bitch, and y'all hoes gonna have to live with it. Sorry. It's not her fault she's biracial. It's not her fault that biracial or not, that she's a beautiful woman. It's not her fault that she had the ability to make it in this world without a nigga, that she don't need a husband to validate her, and she still got the big house. She don't have children and still got the big cars. She didn't need YouTube and still cashing the big checks. It's not Claudia's fault that she was able to prove just what a woman is capable of without any of that patriarchal shit. It's not her fault that she was able to prove that a bitch could do it by herself. It's not her fault that she don't need a man. Can want one, but don't need one. Ain't gonna be fine without one. It's not her fault that she found legacy in other things other than having children, like being a reality star and a media personality and a very rich bitch. Because unlike Nene Leakes, Claudia Jordan ain't getting fired from no networks. She right now producing shows for Fox. Fox ain't got nothing going on right now that she want to be a part of because Fox lost both their premiere shows, Cocktails with Divas and TGIF. It ain't shit for her to do over there, but she working right now to give their ass something else because she got it like that. It's not her fault that she ain't never had to file a lawsuit in a desperate attempt to get coin out of a network that didn't want her ass anymore because she wasn't bringing nothing to the table. That's the scarlet letter that Nene got to wear on her motherfucking shoulder and on her big back. It's not Claudia's fault that while y'all want to talk about what she did to Nene, y'all won't talk about the fact that Nene was fucking and hooking up with a nigga who was still legally married to his wife, and his wife exposed that. Oh, y'all don't want to talk about that part. Y'all want to talk about how much of a hoe and how much of a whore. Oh, yeah, we're going to do the lookbook. You know what? Y'all gave me a great idea. We're going to put together a compilation on Tiny Ass, and we're going to put together a compilation on Nene Ass, just to even the playing field out here, just for the sake of equality out in this motherfucker. Yeah, what y'all, the part y'all want to conveniently leave out is the fact that Nene is, to this day, walking around with a motherfucking nigga that she was frolicking and fraternizing with when he was still legally married to his bitch. But wasn't Nene the same one who turned around to Kim Zolciak and told her to close her motherfucking legs to married men? I be about a bitch. Ain't that about a damn bitch? How you standing? How these motherfuckers standing up for other wrong ass people? So y'all want to talk about it? Great. Y'all gave me something to talk about, bitch, and we're gonna talk about it. Oh yeah. We gonna get that lookbook. We gonna flip through the book of everybody's sins. That's what we gonna do. We gonna flip through the sins of Tiny. We gonna flip through the sins of Nene. Because all these people got enough so-called wrong and flaw and error to have a small book produced on their motherfucking ass. Okay? Don't ask me about no other motherfucking YouTuber. I ain't friends with near motherfucker on this bitch. How about that? I ain't friends with her, or her. How about that? Don't ask me about near motherfucker from this point forward. I'm friends to CTV. That's who I'm friends with, bitch. I'm team CTV. That's who the fuck I fuck with. I'm team Consciouztv. That's the only bitch that you get to ask me about is CTV. Because clearly it ain't enough for CTV to be friends with nobody without having to catch strays because other people so caught up in hatred for other people. CTV fuck with CTV, bitch. This is my season. I see no evil. I hear no evil. Because just like Claudia, I've realized I can sit over on this motherfucker and just be great. And people going to be blowing a goddamn blood vessel. Just for the hell of it. And people going to be having shit in their heart for me just for the hell of it. And people just going to have their feelings and going to get weird just for the hell of it. When real friends would be congratulating each other and real friends would be all understanding that they can all do their jobs. You know, but the big difference between me and a lot of these other folk is that my perspective in the situation is informed with facts. And my feelings about the people who involved in this situation don't cloud my judgment, unlike other people. Thank you, voice. Thank you. Thank you. I ain't friends with their motherfucker. I'm friends with me. Straight out the horse's mouth. I ain't never needed nobody for near nothing. Everywhere I've been on these YouTube streets, I was invited. I ain't never sought opportunity from none of these motherfuckers. If you saw me with them, I was invited to be with them. None of these motherfucking people can say I needed them, that I asked to be on their shit, I asked to be there or not. People fuck with me. The opportunities come to me. Because I specialize and master in doing me. So you come over here, enjoy the content, get your life. You can agree, you cannot agree. You have the space to have your own mind over here. Long as you are focused on your perspective and you ain't focused on disrespecting me because I see it differently than you, we can all coexist over here in a space where everybody can have their own mind. Ain't nobody got to pander to nobody. Ain't nobody got to create no fault cult leader against nobody. Ain't nobody got to create no fucking, ain't got to lead a charge against nobody. You can be Team Wiggins. You can be Team Claudia. You can be Team Al. You can be all that. Long as you ain't disrespecting me about my perspective, I ain't going to disrespect you about your perspective because we all grown and you can have your perspective. No, that's also not true. You know, y'all, if I wanted to be on Fox, y'all, I would have taken the chair. Wiggins would have never been there to begin with. Ain't nobody working on nothing for me, okay? I'm here as a commentator. Me and Claudia don't have a transactional relationship. You would never be able to get Claudia to say one thing in the course of our relationship that I've had to ask her for. I haven't asked Claudia to bring me into anything. I haven't asked her to defend me about anything. I haven't asked her to plug me into shit. I don't need her to do that. I have access to the whole industry, my own talent and my own what you call it? My own socializing and my own networking. I don't need nobody to create shit. I take the opportunities that I want to take, and anything I want to do, I do. I don't have a transactional relationship to none of my peers. None of them. If we're in relationship, it's because we are genuinely in relationship. There is no transactionalness. There is no, if you do this, I do this. I've gone hard for people who have never done anything for me. Claudia would be no exception to that. I'm going to base my opinion based upon what the fuck I see. And anybody who's also been keeping up with the commentary over here knows that we've been tugging on Claudia's with the past 2 days as well. Ain't no exception been made for her. But the problem is that people too fucking obsessed with what the fuck you think about some shit. Don't worry about what the fuck I feel and think. Worry about what the fuck you feel and think. Worry about what the fuck your perception is. Don't fucking worry about why the fuck I think the way the fuck I think. Because clearly, we know why now I'm thinking the way I'm thinking. because I was sitting on the black and white. I had more intel than everybody else who commenting on this situation with their medium ass platforms. I had more intel than anybody in this situation. And I'm not, once again, blinded and drunk and intoxicated off of my disdain for any one person anywhere that I can't also acknowledge the facts. That's proved by the fact that I was able to advocate for Wiggins as well on my platform without him having to ask me to, without needing anything from him, while still not liking him and still being able to look at the facts and advocate accordingly. See, bitch, I'm big grown. Big grown. I'm big emotional intelligence. Big, big, big. There's nothing that any of these people can do to make me feel no way. If I'm going to advocate for you, I'm going to advocate for you, whether I like you or not, whether you acknowledge it or not. That's not the way I'm built. I don't do anything for other people. I do it because it's a reflection of me. It's my personal posture. I don't need nobody to congratulate me. I don't need nobody to thank me. I don't need nobody to do nothing. I got my own mind, and I'm going to do what the fuck I always have been doing. And the rest of these motherfuckers, I'm going to continue to be a fan and be subscribed and be obsessed with the king, because the king is who the fuck he is. And that's why everybody fuck with me to begin with. So, you know, in a lot of ways, I can relate to Claudia. I can relate to girl. Your very existence, honey. You're very light. Your very aura, girl, just be compelling these demons, girl, out of motherfuckers. Fucking weirdos. Mo says, I like that about you. Knowingly you don't like him. You are telling your truth and hell some of his. I love that. I'm a commentator. I feel like I owe that to y'all. I feel like I have a responsibility to be able to entertain the other side, being able to acknowledge the facts in situations. And I feel like it's also my responsibility to also continue to cultivate a space where we understand as grown-ass people that multiple things can be true at the same time. You cannot like your next-door neighbor because your next-door neighbor bust your car windows out 2 years ago over a common argument over getting that shit up out their yard. And they didn't appreciate you getting that shit up, you telling them to get that shit up out their yard. And then as a result, they busted your car windows out. But y'all have remained living, you know, next door to each other and not liking each other. And then you can wake up and see their house on fire and run to help to save them, or have empathy for the fact that their house burnt down, even though this bitch bust your car windows out 2 years ago. One thing don't necessarily always have to do with the other. And one thing doesn't necessarily excuse us not being able to empathize or not being able to see the situation for what it is when it is. That's how life actually is set up. I don't have to like him to advocate for him. If there's a situation happening to him where he's dead ass being fucking victimized, that's what the fuck it is. And I can stand up for him just as passionately as I can for somebody that I fuck with. Once again, I'm not a transactional ass person. It's not based upon whether I like somebody or not. It's not based upon, and that's what really blows me about the narrative that was put out, that, oh, people being promised things and people being paid to do things. How can that be the case then when I'm sitting here advocating for a bitch I don't do? Okay, so what is Wiggins paying me to do? What is Wiggins offering me? Since hoes can be brought. Since hoes can be brought. Since hoes is chasing after opportunity, what is being offered to me to make me advocate for him? In a situation where Al is dead ass trying to sabotage his fucking job, resulting in very much so the feelings he should have had. Baby, I think we're getting a lesson in how hate for people will turn you into a mentally retarded motherfucker. Now I see what's intellectually damaging about being filled with hate. Hate compromises your ability to be a proper judge and to rightfully divide the left from the right. Hate will compromise your critical thinking skills, your reasoning skills, your big old 30, 40, 50, 60 years of age ass skills. Have you looking a fool and then wonder why you're getting dragged by your own people. Because everybody else can put their shit aside. There are so many people who don't fuck with Claudia and are able to compartmentalize and put that shit aside and be like, bitch, you know what? I don't like that bitch. I'm team Michelle, but our ass is dead ass wrong. Claudia is vindicated. So many people who have not had to give up disliking Claudia are able to also side with her in a situation where she's being victimized without having to like her to do that. Because that's what grown folk can do. I'm glad someone stood up for Claudia. The who could have been solved if Joyce would have been grabbed her HR bag and put her foot on Al's neck. Rightfully so. Kimberly says, hey, Kimberly, a portion of my fence and my neighbor's fence collapsed during Burley. I replaced mine and theirs. Never said a word to them. It's called paying it forward, period. And it's people like y'all who make the world go the fuck round and round and round and round and round again. It's the only reason why this world still has beauty in it. It's the reason why this world still has decency in it. It's the only reason why there's even a little bit of order still left in the fucking world, because they are grown ass people out in this motherfucker. Claudia is very talented regardless of how you feel about her, period. Claudia was definitely wrong. Thank y'all for the thumbs up. We almost at 1K thumbs up, y'all. So please continue to thumbs up. Hate will move you. Vote wrong. Yeah, it'll have you voting wrong. I've seen posts stated that they don't like her, but agreed she wasn't the one, period. If you look at the comment sections, you see that underneath the Zoom of receipts I done posted. All up and through there. All up and through there. All up and through there. I'm clear that me advocating for Wiggins also doesn't make Wiggins a Jesus Christ figure. It doesn't deify him. It doesn't absolve him of responsibility. It doesn't absolve him of the things he has done. It didn't absolve him of the things that he's done, even in this situation, to amplify the situation. But the things he's done still don't excuse the shit that Al did. Whether he played into it or not, Al still did what he did. You know, at the very least, if you're gonna hold one person accountable, hold everybody to the fire. And you know what? Matter of fact, I read a statement that I want to read here as a closing, because I think it wrapped it up beautifully. No, I don't even want to read that. I think what I just said is enough of a wrap up. It was never Claudia. And that's the key. It was never her. That's the real guy. But you know, some people ain't ready for that, baby. That's way too that's way too, like, you know, that's way too much, girl. You know, baby, a lot of people ain't ready for that statement right there. But that's actually the ultimate truth. Claudia chose two people who she had great chemistry with, formed and forged a great relationship with naturally, thought about them when she was creating the show, trusted them, put them on. She saw that for them. and they pretended and did everything that they were supposed to do with an agenda, and got next to her and got in her shit, and then felt the way about who she was because both of them had imposter syndrome and they fucked her over. And Claudia has been trying to hold it together for the past 2 fucking years on TGIF while going through all of this shit personally, because not only was she being fucked with professionally, she also had to grieve and survive the betrayal all in real time. And out of loyalty to the Fox Solars, kept her shit together to give the culture what it was loving, to give the fans what it was loving. Being committed to her mission. I got mad respect for her for being able to even hold it together the way that she did, because we see other people did it a lot worse. Funky Dineva damn sure collapsed. Now the gag is people talking about, oh well, why is Claudia leaking? You don't know whether she did it or not. The truth is out there. It's up to Al to develop his own defense. It's up to Al to build his own motherfucking case. You can't be mad that Claudia has a case and built it accordingly. You can't be mad that Al done got out here and hoodwinked and bamboozled all y'all motherfucking asses, and he ain't got no receipts, he ain't got nothing because he was a motherfucking issue. It's like being in a court of law, bitch. Your defense is your responsibility, not the other parties. It's every party's responsibility to have their defense and to build their defense. Al refuses to step into the light and to take ownership because he always knew he was the culprit. He always knew he was Lucifer in this situation. And Lucifer can't never take the stand. All he can do is hide away in the bush. He ain't gonna never take the stand and allow y'all asses to confront him about any of this because he don't have an explanation. There's no substantive reason for why he did what he did. It was shallow, it was downtrodden, it was wicked, it was unrighteous, it was Judas, it was fucking evil. To do this to somebody who fought for you and put you on, and all you had to do, bitch, is read your notes and be great. That's all the fuck Claudia required out of either one of these fucking niggas. Y'all had one fucking job, to be happy and to work for an hour. And because he's insecure as fuck and still can't accept his sexuality, he got a mommy fracture, he got an issue with his masculinity, he got all these complexes, girl. He's not going to put himself in a position to be charged accordingly, girl, and to be cross-referenced accordingly, girl, because the only way out of that, the only redemption that Al Reynolds Jones III could manifest would be in honesty. And because he is the complete opposite of that, because he cannot sit and say, yes, bitch, I'm insecure as fuck, what my friend Funky said in the Carlos King interview, and they attempt to distance himself from me because now our hand is being exposed in this plot to overthrow Claudia and to temporarily use Wiggins and our scheme to overthrow Claudia, said I was insecure. Yeah, that's true. No. Does this man with his tight ass button up and his Plato's closet ass blazer look like the type of nigga who lives in truth? Did I look like him? Do this look like the kind of nigga who claims that he was riding around as an open gay man when he met Star Girl? If it's one thing I know about black ass women, is black motherfucking women, baby. And I know it to be fact. the majority of them are not interested, girl, in being with a man who's been with a man. And that has been consistently the reflection over here on this channel, girl, where we have confronted just that. So ain't no way that in a time where sexuality and orientation wasn't really understood like that, and most people hadn't done their homework, and most people wasn't as educated as they are now about sexual fluidity, girl, that Al Jones, at a time where it wasn't cool to be bisexual, met a woman, a black woman, who had as much to lose as Star Jones, girl, would have rolled her dice to be with a bisexual man when she could have continued to spend her coin on escorts, girl. Why would I have put myself, girl, through marrying a fucking openly bisexual man, bitch? Like, how was I going to introduce this to my family? You think Star Jones really was going to be able to take a open bisexual Al Jones home to her daddy, girl, and have his ass bless her ass down the aisle, girl? You really think that Star Jones, girl, was going to be able to parade around an openly bisexual ass Al Jones, girl, and have anybody in her friendship group, anybody in media, anybody in her family respect her, when the narrative on bisexuals is that they hoes and can't be trusted? And you think she was going to willfully still walk into that relationship knowing all of that? Right. Okay. That makes sense to somebody. Somebody dumbass going to believe that. Somebody dumbass is going to consider that. You'll be all right with the silly ass. 2024 Plato's closet, boo. Okay? How is the blazer out of the closet and your ass is still in it? How? Right. A black woman that's raised in the 50s. Hold on, is Star Jones that old, bitch? I don't know. You might gotta clarify that. Africa. Yeah, no. So that concludes, girl. It was a plot that Todd came to Al and Dineva with, girl, to overthrow Claudia ass so Al could bring Funky ass back into the situation just as a gag to Claudia, because Funky really didn't even care whether he came back or not. It was all in the name of petty for Funky. It was all in the name of just giving it and sicking it to Claudia ass. Because, see, Funky can't even keep his narrative straight. He had nothing to say about Claudia in a negative way in that interview. But then when he got read down by Wiggins and was on his platform, he went back to blaming Claudia for putting a battery in Wiggins' back, even though he had admitted in his interview with Carlos that he had loaded up Wiggins' back. Make it make sense, bitch. But who was dead ass serious, because, you know, he dizzy in the head, was Al. Funky was with all the shits, but Al was dead ass serious, because, you know, he can't make a distinction between dreaming and waking life. You know, he never knows when he's actually asleep and when he's awake, girl. You know, there's not a lot of dividing lines in Al Reynolds' head. Yeah. Because this is exactly why he was trying to overthrow it, even when Al was still on the ship. And the reason Al was okay with it was because they were in cahoots. TGIF gate, girl. TGIF gate. And now that the situation is blown up and everything is coming up and out, girl, everybody trying to distance themselves and trying to act like they don't know each other, girl. Now all of a sudden, the person he's been claiming as a friend the whole time is now somebody he ain't that close to. And then let me tell you the bullshit of Funky Dineva. He literally said in his interview with Carlos King, I don't know why everybody think that, because, bitch, you the one who been labeling this nigga as your friend. You the one in all of your interviews. My friend. Bitch, ain't no everybody, girl. It be the psychological manipulation for me. Girl, don't act like it's everybody else who tried to make fetch happen, girl. You the one who been labeling this nigga as your friend. The public didn't do that. You did that. Now all of a sudden, girl, that, you know, there's an open investigation and the autopsy is unfolding on the situation. The autopsy is slowly but for surely coming to a conclusion, girl. Now everybody once again try to hide the evidence, girl, trying to tuck shit under their bed, trying to tuck relationships away. True Self says, girl, you don't sleep because you watch everything and nothing gets past, baby. Stormy Rose said the same thing, bitch. Stormy Rose said, girl, if it's one thing about Conscious, bitch, you ain't Conscious see everything. You're not gonna get one over on, even if Conscious gonna let you sit there and play, even if he gonna sit there and play stupid. If it's one thing about it, if it's one thing for sure, two things for certain, girl, CTV ass is going to see it all, honey. Okay, but things gotta come up and out, you know, for my commentary sometimes to make sense, because I be sitting at tables and because I be having access to stuff way before it ever hits the public. Sometimes I end up speaking on things before the external things happen that'll make my commentary make sense. So then sometimes it'll seem like my commentary don't make sense. It'll be seeming like my commentary will be like all the way over here when it's not. My commentary is just going to be in alignment with what I know to be true. But the situation hasn't unfolded enough yet for it to make sense to y'all. So now I done started just actually waiting for the situations to play out and then give y'all boom, 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 boom. Even though I'm gonna still always drop some Easter eggs and some nuggets off for y'all, some Blue's Clues, so that when everything does hit the fan, I can have the luxury of saying, ain't I told y'all that shit? Ain't I was telling y'all that? Ain't I had said that 3 months ago? And I kept saying it and I kept reiterating it. I kept telling y'all when y'all was saying, oh, girl, you just jealous because he's making 250. And I said, no, that's not the case. Oh, girl, when I was telling y'all, girl, oh, you just jealous because you didn't get it, girl. What you mean? I did get it. I turned it down, and several people actually turned it down. And then you end up hearing that out of the horse's mouth itself. Like, come on. You know, when I was telling y'all from the jump, girl, the owl was the worst of them. Y'all remember the live stream a few months ago, girl, where I was dragging Owl ass, and this is before y'all ever saw any Zoom meetings. I said Owl is the worst of them, girl. And I told Owl then that his day was going to come. But y'all, some of y'all was still sipping the Kool-Aid, sipping the Jim Jones Kool-Aid, girl. Some of y'all was still, you know, just, you know, believing the hype. I said, okay, you know, it's all cool. I knew what I knew. So I didn't care how crazy I sounded, or I didn't care if it seemed like I was pulling something out of my ass. I didn't care because I know what I know. And I'm not psychotic enough to act like I don't know what I know just because you don't know it yet. And now everything that I said, if you go back and watch my earlier commentary, girl, if you watch any coverage prior to this Zoom, girl, I gave y'all the whole play. And now everything is being corroborated. Motherfucking corroborated. So that concludes, girl. Anybody want? Let me see. Hold on. What time it is? We don't be here. I mean, shit. We don't be here 2.5 hours. Do anybody want to come up? We can do 20 minutes. Y'all can come up and sound off if y'all want to come up. If not, I'm complete. Does anybody want to come up? CTV has been on point from day one on period. Not the Jim Jones, the Jim Jones, honey. Line mother effer. Owl Jones, girl. Y'all see it. OW, because Owl is a snooze fest, girl. The fact that this girl was trying to clear the whole panel of this girl to prepare the way for Funky Dineva, girl. Who the fuck did Owl think he was, girl? John the Baptist, bitch. Okay, the kingdom is at hand, the kingdom is at hand, the kingdom is at hand. Who in the hell he thought he was? Girl, prophesying that the Messiah was coming, girl. Who? Let me drop the link in case anybody want to come up real quick. If y'all do, we got 20 minutes, you know, to hear everybody's feelings and thoughts. If not, we're gonna bounce. Al John the Baptist girl. Okay. Poor thing. Poor Tink. Oh, hey, Andre. I've been lost in the first week of school chaos. What did I miss? Girl, you missed everything, child. But we've been giving it up, Andre. So go watch the leaked Zoom calls that I posted to the video section of my channel, and then watch the live streams about everything that's been going on ever since Funky had his interview, child. It's a mess. Okay. Baby girl says you sure did, and everything receipt has been confirmed. Please, yet resting in the Discord, which is okay. But a blind man can see the shenanigans. Absolutely. Absolutely, baby. Star Jones woke up to him looking like that girl and called her divorce attorney on period, honey. Hey, Sonny says, ate up this friend on period, baby. I gotta, I know you had inboxed me too, Sonny. I'm gonna get back to you, boo. Because I want us to talk about Miss Lionsgate, child. All this manifesting going, all this truth coming out, honey. You know, I'm taking it all in stride, okay? You know, I know that, you know, even with the revelations that are coming now, I'm like, the universe keeps showing me, cut my grass so I can see the snakes in my yard. Because I'm appreciative of the truth, honey. You know, I don't be hurt no more. I now be like, I want to know. Because the more that the universe show me where it is and who people is, this benefits me, helps me to have a larger sense of peace, and it makes it easier to protect myself when the universe exposes, girl, the rabid dogs that are lurking around, or the crocodiles that are parading around in my pond as a duck. So continue, universe, to show me who the fuck people is. Because the way I'm going to be curving and swerving, the way that I'm going to be surfboarding, bitch. The way that I'm going to be surfboarding, girl. The way I'm going to be curving and swerving, bitch. I'm in my curve and swerve era, girl. Show me where all the evil at. Show me where all the secret bullshit at. Show me where all of the problematic shit is, baby. I don't give a fuck who you got to expose, bitch. I'm going to chop all them hoes. If it's grandma, show me the wickedness in her ass too. Your ass gotta go, bitch. If it's grandpa, girl, I don't give a damn, bitch. Ain't nobody head on the motherfucking swivel in this season, baby. Girl, show me what the tea is, bitch. I'ma show out how to come out and keep the closet clear. Okay? I already done came out the closet. This era here is about spring cleaning that bitch. Because, baby, I don't want nothing but peace around me. I don't want nothing but people who truly love me, truly support me, truly got me for me, baby. I don't want none of that weird-ass fucking energy, none of that flip-floppy-ass motherfucking energy, none of that inconsistency shit. I don't want none of that shit. Because I don't bring none of that energy to the people that I fuck with. I'm not going to tolerate that shit from nobody. None. Don't need you. Don't want to be you. Self-made from the get-go. Never needed you. You needed me before I needed you. You needed me, and I never even needed you. Walk in my worth, and if I got to walk almost damn near alone, bitch, I'm prepared to do that to the end, honey. I'm prepared to be on my rocking chair at 110 years old by my motherfucking self, enjoying the singing of the birds. I don't need near nigga beside me. Never. Hey, Rashonda.
Hey, Conscious, how you doing? Yes, I want to tell you this. One thing about you, Conscious, since I've known you, you always been honest. You always give people a fair chance to speak their mind. You always have been there to open up a conversation that most people wouldn't even talk about. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. This is the reason why I've been following you for years. And you have grown so much. That's what people don't understand. I have watched you flourish. And it's just amazing to watch you grow from where you was up until now. And people don't understand. You don't have to tolerate just because, you know, people follow you. It's just certain things that you're not going to tolerate. And it's a respect thing. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can have your opinion, but people feel like you have to be wrong because you don't agree with them. You know, and I feel like, hey, you have opened up so many doors where other people won't even have a conversation about. Don't you know, I feel more safer here versus at somewhere else to where I can honestly open up. Do you know people have literally told me, no, you wrong for saying this. You get what I'm saying? They actually have said, well, you wrong, you shouldn't be thinking that way. And everybody has a brain. If that's the case, we would always, you know, would be mindless and wouldn't think they would think for ourselves. So what I'm saying is, and then I'm gonna get into what we talking about. Um, what I'm telling people is, it's okay to have an opinion, but it's not okay to be disrespectful and hateful toward people that you don't even know or you don't even agree with. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what I'm saying, you have helped me grow. You have helped me to actually be vocal about stuff. You even have seen me grow because see stuff that people once have said to me. Like I told somebody, if I'm a bad person, you wouldn't be trying to talk to me now. Prime example, I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna talk about what we talking about. Do you know somebody who treated me bad is following me on social media now? That's telling you something, conscious. They did me so wrong, used me and everything, but now they follow me for what? What you follow me for? You done did me wrong, but see, I'm gonna do it in love. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
ignore them, and I'm gonna act like I don't even see them. You got to be careful how you treat people because you know what? You're gonna need them down the line. That's why I said what I said.
Yes,
So,
I receive
and,
it.
and the thing, and the thing about Al, I'm gonna tell you this. This is what I saw. He wanted as soon as Funky left, okay, he
Mm-hmm.
wanted to take over Claudia's show. Think about what I'm saying. He was more he was quiet when Funky was there, but as soon as Funky left, he had this. He thought he was better than everybody else. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking to myself, Al, you luckily Claudia let you be on her show. And this is what I'm saying. People that don't care about something that you built will help you destroy your own stuff. Prime example,
Yep.
Destiny's Child. Destiny's Child. Okay, that was a group. You see, that didn't last too long with Destiny's Child. Everybody started going their separate ways. You get what I'm saying? When you're in a group and you're doing a group setting, you're supposed to be able to work together as a team. You shouldn't get a big head and thinking you better than somebody else. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a bless. It was a blessing that Claudia let them on with the show. And then she told them when she first came on that she said, "I'm not with the mess." But see, like she said, she had been getting dragged in the mud for so long. And she said she tired of her name being brought up, and she did nothing. She said it a few times on TGIL. So because of what happened, she said, "I'm tired of this. I'm gonna pull out receipts." But this is what this is one to everybody. Be careful when you sit up here and think you're gonna dig a ditch for somebody else. Don't you know that the other person could have her receipt that you don't know about? So while you try to throw dirt on somebody else's name, make sure your house clean first. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make any sense that Claudia built that from the ground up. This is the second show that she got canceled. If y'all paid attention, this is the second show she had that's been canceled. So it's something that she's bringing these players into these different avenues that she's trying to do that's causing her to fall. You
I
know,
mean,
for something that she
well,
did.
I'll challenge that a little bit because just because some people see it as a fall, that don't mean it's a fall. I mean, this is kind of just
Okay.
yeah, like this is kind of just business, and like when you working for someone else, you only have but so much control over the success of things. We do have to realize that even though Claudia, these are her shows underneath the umbrella of a corporation and a network. So she don't have the power in and of herself to so-called keep a show going for any longer than what the network has decided is going to go for. So
I got
yeah, that's like outside of her. But the reality is, it's a season for everything. Like a season of College Hill, a season of Housewives. People keep talking about, oh, she done been fired from every job. So has Nene apparently. Nene ass was terminated, let go of. Do we still see her ass on the Orange Is the New Black or whatever the hell it was? Orange is the new normal. Do we still see her ass on Broadway? Do we still see her ass on Housewives? And that's just be like the hypocrisy of me. Like the hypocrisy for me. It's like, if that's the way people want to go, it's like that can go for everybody who everybody so-called is a team of, like that's the reality. But it's not also necessarily a loss. Like these shows only have a certain lifeline, and there's a budget that's allocated for them, and then it's up to the show and the network to do all of the promotional work to capitalize. And unfortunately, Claudia doesn't get to decide, how much the network fights for these shows, or she don't have anything. She don't have no other control other than just doing her part in the situation. It's kind of like if you working for a job and they start to change shit, they cutting budgets, they cleaning up, they letting people go, they moving shit around, they, it's not working for anything else. The only thing she can truly ever take the L for is something that is totally in her power. But as long as she's working for a network, working for a corporation, she is subjected to the same seasonal stuff that anybody else who's working for a job does. Her only true L's can come from any entrepreneurial attempts, like her starting her own businesses, her Air Caroline, her running her own production, her coming up with her own streaming server, her coming up with her own a network like Zeus. Only when she has the full power in the situation can then, she be responsible for whether it sinks or swims. But her being subjected to other powers that be, that's kind of out of her control.
I had a question though, Conscious. Do you think because of the stuff that was happening in the background, it affected her more than she was saying on camera? Because I would look at it sometimes, and sometimes she would be either upset, before she come on camera and stuff like that. And you could see it in her face, like something was being said to her behind the scenes. Yeah. That's why sometimes she would say, "Y'all just don't know what be going on behind the scenes." She would say that.
Yeah, it was a lot. Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to figure out: is it that she was trying to let the audience know then what was going on, or she was just trying to sit on it to try to save the show?
No,
that's my question.
She was just expressing herself because everybody could tell, because everything was bleeding through the screen. Like all the Fox Solas noticed that the chemistry was getting weird, people was acting weird, like everybody can tell. So she would seemingly choose to address that at times, like, girl, yes, it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on, but we pushing through. But because a lot of the fans noticed. It was hard for them to conceal it after it just got so toxic, and it was bleeding over into the show. Like that's why she had to fight to have a conversation with Wiggins, because it was translating through the show that he didn't like her, and that him and Al was on one accord and teaming up against her, and it was obvious that Al had no respect for Claudia. He was over talking her on the show and interrupting her and being rude to her and being rude to the other guests on the show. So it was just so obvious. Everything was so obvious, and the fans just kept make it known. So, you know, she would address it every now and again, like, yes, it's a lot going on. It ain't no happy home over here, child.
But see, here's the thing here's the thing. They wanted to try to stay on the show. Here's the thing. Okay, they was trying to stay on the show. Okay, they was trying to work things out. That's the way they made it seem. But then when Funky got I'm not saying fired, but when they let him go, their attitudes, it's like their attitudes was more, oh, you can't tell me nothing and different things like that. I don't know if you picked up on that as well. It's like, what happened? I mean, because at the same time, Al, and see, I don't know if it was because they were drinking. I don't know if that's what happened, or is it because they just had a ill feeling toward each other. You know what I'm saying? I think it was a mixture of all of that. Because when they was drinking just regular water, sometimes they say I'm drinking water or I'm drinking tea. It was more fun. It was more playful. You see what I'm saying, Conscious?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? And when the alcohol played a part of it, it was like they're acting different. They're not the same. You get what I'm saying? And then Mr. Wiggins, you could see sometimes he would have this fake smile on his face. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm just gonna grit my teeth and I'm just gonna smile through this. I said, wow. So what I'm saying, it's a shame that the show didn't last long as it did, because it was actually a good show. You see what I'm saying? And this is a testament to, if you're not, you know, in an agreement with certain things, and if you can't work together, it makes the thing look bad as a whole. You see what I'm saying? So we have to get into a place where we're able to, first of all, be able to work with each other. You see what I'm saying? As a whole, that means across the board. You see what I'm saying? Have a conversation with people, have these hard conversations. Hey, you know, look, if you feel this way about this person, hey, you know, we're not gonna have it. You know what I'm saying? That's just like when I have a conversation with somebody. I said, look, I'm not here to tell you how to feel or what to feel, but I'm just here to have a conversation. You see what I'm saying? If you say that in the beginning, do you think, Conscious, that could have created a space where it wouldn't be all this turmoil and you know, hate or evenness toward each other? You see what I'm saying?
I think that, you know, like I've said it from the jump. Really, the ball got dropped on production. If production had been competent, period, regardless of what was going on, if production had did the job, a lot of this shit could have been regulated from the jump. A lot of this shit could have been regulated. It could have been squashed, but because the powers that be failed in the situation, it left Katrina to wipe out the entire block. You know, because the reality is people not going to always get along. Shit's going to motherfucking happen. But they were supposed to have an overhead that was supposed to regulate the motherfucking temperature in the room. That didn't do that. So, you know, because once you start bringing in money and views and people got egos, see, this is all shit that Claudia would not have been aware of, because she either one of them professionally. You know, she brought them in as friends. She brought them in as people that she got to know in friendship, and then introduced business. You know, she would have really had no way of knowing that these people had egos and had the complexes about themselves, and never knew that her being successful was going to trigger up either one of these niggas. Like, you know, it was something that she was going to have to find out by way of just experience. You know, everything in life can't be avoided. You know, if it could be, none of us would have a testimony. None of us would have a past. None of us would be able to relate to being used, to being lied to being manipulated. You can't see everything ahead of time. Some things you are just going to experience because you had to live it. You had to live it. And as a result of living it, then, you know, things came up and came out, you know, and because the world is weird and hoes are weird, you know, people pretend to get what they want out of you. People will love bomb you. People will do everything to get next to you, to get in between your legs, to get in your life, to get access to your resources. People can do this for years. You know, there's been people who used you for a decade and then left overnight, you know, and took everything, took their shit and your shit, and was never to be seen again. There are people who know how to pretend and perform and act. And so, you know, it's just one of those things. You know, all you can do, though, is focus on being... You just have to have a great relationship to yourself so that you can use situations to your advantage and just get better at playing the enemy when the enemy does show up. You know, if the enemy is going to play checkers, you need to be good at playing chess. So, you know, all sometimes we can do is just prepare ourselves in the sense of, okay, we know that it's fuckery out here. We know it's dumbass people out here. We know that it's using assholes out here. We know it's weird ass niggas out here. So let me just master the art of me, and let me just master the art of being able to get out of a burning house without causing catastrophic damage to myself. Let me master the art of how to neutralize threats in my life without accumulating so much injury. So all we can do is just stay aware of the fact that the world is untrustworthy. Not everybody is here with the great intentions, and to just have a great relationship to ourselves so that when the stuff we can't predict, the stuff that we could not have perceived prior to it happening happens, you know, we can just make the most of a really bad situation. That's all that we can do. I understand it. Avoided. Yeah. Every evil can't be avoided. Every bad friend can't be avoided. Every user can't be avoided. Sometimes, because of circumstances and situations, like, you know, people are just going to end up next to you. It'll be like, oh, right now, if you stepped out your house to go to the local market, you don't have no control over if it's somebody there who has woke up on the wrong side of the bed and it's going to start some shit with your ass in the line or in the produce aisle or in the parking lot over a parking space. You know, it's like everything in life is just not avoidable. Some things are just going to happen. And all we can do is figure out who we want to be in the situations and what's the most effective way to navigate bullshit in the world.
Right. And then Conscious, do you think because I'm trying to say that do you think that because stuff is coming out, do you think at some point he's gonna speak on it? At some point he's gonna or fake apologize, and that'll get his following back up? Because I believe that's what is maybe his next tactic, because he knows he has people that actually follows him, and he knows he's going to end up losing his followers because he hadn't said anything, in my opinion. So what do you think?
Set up part again, boo.
I was saying, do you think that Al is going to come out and finally say something about it?
The asshole ain't gonna say a damn thing, and if he does say anything, he gonna say the least of everything. He gonna give a generic ass statement to address the people. And if apology, that's what I was asking. Yeah, but I don't even see him doing that, because he just ain't never been that. He ain't never did that. He ain't never been a real ass nigga in his life. And he not gonna be a real ass nigga with this much of his blood, you know, now on the exhibit and evidence table. All he can do is tuck his motherfucking little ass weenie between his legs, just like he did yesterday when I was dropping the bombs over Baghdad, and he canceled his goddamn show because he didn't even want to have to deal with what would have been the aftermath in his live chat had he went live. He ran in. He not about that life. He ain't gonna do shit. He ain't gonna answer to shit. and he don't even need to. The truth is in plain sight now. The truth has spoke for him. So really, he can continue to sit the fuck down. Like, what else can you say? Like, what else can you say other than give an apology and give an earnest one and really check yourself? But hell, how many times does that happen? Barely any.
Right. The reason why I asked that,
he told y'all on his community walk. On his community walk on yesterday. Today's show is ironically canceled because CTV is on my neck. So I'll see you guys Monday.
But see, here's the thing. Regardless of how much he hides and how long he has, the truth gonna still be there. That's what I'm saying. Whenever he decides to show up, that's what he don't understand. He gonna have to address it regardless. Whenever he decides to show up and come back,
because he already done been through this. Because see, when Funky had jump shipped and was doing all that shit upon his exit, you know, they was over there getting dragged on TGIF when TGIF was alive. Funky Bunch was over there terrorizing Claudia and Al ass and all of that. So he already knows, like, oh, I can play the ignore game just like we did when Funky was, you know, doing what he was supposed to do to tank the goddamn show. So he knows and is under the belief that, you know, okay, this will last for a little while, and if I act dumb and I be Beyonce, Solange, and Jay-Z in the elevator to the bullshit, and I never actually address it, it'll die down eventually. It'll be some other story that come out. People will be obsessed with it. I'll be long forgotten. So he probably will just play the forget game, and it will eventually lose its momentum, and life will go on.
Wow, but you, I know for a fact you're not gonna let you go.
No, I am. I'm gonna stay. You know, I don't stay on anybody's neck consistently. You know, I talk about things as it happens in the news. I don't just, you know, be sitting around still talking about old ass shit. You know, so it just depends on what happens from here. You know, like if he does say anything, we'll be here to address it. If Funky and Wiggins does a publicized conversation, we'll talk about it. Like if anything notable happens, then, you know, it'll become coverage over here. But no, I'm not gonna be like, I'm not invested enough to be on his neck. Like, I mean, I ain't gonna get nothing out of just being on his neck for the hell of it. Like, he's relevant now because of the interview that Funky Dineva did, and now all the stuff is happening, and his homeboy is out here speaking on his behalf without no facts, and he's tucking his tail, and Wiggins and Funky are dragging each other's party wigs and nail polish off each other's fingers. And so, you know, we got content to talk about. But soon as, if nobody does anything, then we ain't gonna be talking about it. I mean, it just depends on, it depends on them, you know, because I mean, you know, I mean, it ain't that deep for me, you know. It's like I do got other shit that I love to talk about. Like I'm trying to get my girls
I already know. But see, here's the thing with that, Conscious. That's why I love you, because see, the thing about it is you don't address things unless it's being addressed to you. You know what I'm saying? Or they bring it to you. You know what I'm saying? You'll be like the type of person say, look, you know, you speak your mind and you just, you know, deal with it how it comes. You see what I'm saying? And the thing about that is, it's good to have a heart like that, because you can't get so invested in it to the point where you all, you know, discombobulated and stuff like that. Because if you dealt in these topics and when you get off there and still had your mind on this stuff, you wouldn't be able to even sleep at night. So people don't understand you got a life outside of the content. That's what I'm saying. So you be living your best life if you just answer us, you know, just get us to a place where.
Exactly. I ain't got but so much energy for any of these people. You know, I got a certain amount of reserve gas in my tank for these folk, and then I'm out. You know, I ain't one of those people, honey, who be hating nobody. I ain't got enough hate to be going the long distance with nobody. But you know, I have a platform. I'm in a particular sector, and we specialize in a particular genre, and we do with what's trending in pop culture, and we deal within what's close to the sector and what happened. So, you know, we just talk about what is being talked about, you know. So it's really just that deep. Don't go no further. Other than that, I don't be offline invested in none of this shit. I do have a life to live, and I go live it graciously. And I take my time off accordingly. I be gone for 4 days. Sometimes I be gone for a week and a half off this motherfucker. You know, I just do what my spirit called for me to do. And I'm blessed and I'm privileged because unlike other people, I don't have to do this for a living. I do it because I enjoy it. That's why my channel isn't monetized, because I can afford to do it for free. But I got to get out of here. Thank you for this, boo.
Yeah, and one more thing. I'm going to tell y'all this and I'm going to go. Hate, when you hate somebody, you don't know why you hating them. Try loving people, because, you know what I'm saying, you get further by loving people. Even if you don't know why you hate them, love them. You know, love on them. So thank you, Conscious, for letting me up. I do appreciate you. Love you.
So much. And love you too, love. That was our Rashonda, y'all. All right, I got to get out of here, girl. We at the 3 hour minute mark. Hope you guys enjoy it. Please thumbs up, subscribe. Shout out to all the new subbies. I'll see you guys before the weekend is out. If anything happens by the nightfall, we'll be right back up here because I got time. I got all the time. All right. I love you all. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section. Check out the videos that I uploaded. We also did a live stream last night, so check that out as well if you haven't. I got some Kamala talk coming for you guys. We gotta talk about what the hell going on in the political landscape, honey. And I'll see y'all all later. Bye.